we're gonna jump straight in. Anyway, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome.
Yeah, I think we actually started discussing this maybe in Bali. I remember we spoke about it, didn't we?
I think we did it.
I think that's the last time I saw you as well.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, what a festival, by the way. I have to say.
It's the best, isn't it?
Yeah, not to make you two jealous, but...
What?
Of course not.
You weren't
No,
there?
I didn't go last year, no.
Really?
I'm going this year.
You've been there, haven't you? Have you not been before?
No, I've not been to
Hasn't
Bali.
been.
no.
You're not.
No.
It's good, you're going to love it.
You had to be there at the first one.
That was the best one.
Yeah. Sorry,
Well, I'll make this
Didn't you
year's
have food
one
poisoning
the best
for like
one.
the entire time?
Don't worry about the food poisoning.
Yeah.
I think the top story
Shit my pants for 3 days. It was amazing.
I wasn't the only one there. Quite a lot of people were struck with it. So
this
still
year,
need to
because
change
of what
the
happened to you the first year, this year I
think.
came fully prepared with antibiotics, like
did you have the charcoal tablets as well?
yeah, everything, you know, the whole lot with me because of your experience.
Basically, I was like the warning for everyone to be like,
Yeah.
just bring all the meds. Yeah, this year I even did the whole like take the bacteria tablets like 2 weeks in advance.
Right.
Wow.
Okay.
You can do that, which builds up like a resistance in your stomach, and then I think it worked.
I think that's a smart move. Yeah.
because that was rough.
I want all of that.
Don't worry, I'll send you a shopping list.
Yeah. So the conversation started in Bali, and then we continued it at Sun and Bass.
That's right.
Another beautiful festival.
Yeah. And how completely spoiled are we to get to play in those
I
festivals?
was just thinking that it's a bit of a joke there, isn't it? Like, Bali, Sardinia, it's
Yeah,
a job.
it is. Yeah. This is our life. This is what it's like the whole time.
All the time.
You know, 365 days of the year, we are at beach festival.
Yeah.
Well and truly believe everything you see on social media.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Instagram is a 100% accurate representation of how we all live all the time. It was an odd one though, because I remember, like, obviously when we were in Bali, that was when the whole Iran-Israel thing was happening. That kicked off majorly, wasn't it? And I remember,
flying home
flying home
through Doha.
Yeah, and like flights
Just
were
after
getting cancelled.
Doha got bombed by Iran, it was like
It was nuts, man.
it was carnage.
Yeah, that was
Absolute carnage.
And people, I mean, Dex did his like 24 hours in Doha, like Instagram thing, didn't he? That was, that was.
Yeah.
Another thing, like don't believe everything you see on Instagram, but actually,
I do believe that one.
Glamorous lifestyle. This
That was real.
almost died in Doha.
Honestly. What a time. But one thing we do with all of our guests, because there's a lot of things a lot of people don't know, basically. So we like to go back, little deep dive.
Yep.
Before London Electricity was even a thing, because it's always nice to talk about kind of the beginnings, where the love for the music came from, what the influences were. And I don't think we've ever had this conversation, but this will be new for me as well.
Okay.
So would love to kind of,
You can ask anything you want.
Yeah, I mean, let's go right back. So like, let's go
There's
back.
nothing you can't ask me about anything.
Perfect.
Okay.
That's good news. Let's go right back. Like, what is the earliest interaction with music, whether it be hearing music, playing an instrument for the first time? Like, what is your earliest memory that you've got?
My earliest memory is my mum was, she was a music and a French teacher. Excuse me. And she had, and this is when I was 6, so 1967. She had a Telefunken reel-to-reel tape recorder that she used for her language classes. And really kind of lo-fi one, you know, with a little plastic mic. And I used to borrow it from my mum. In fact, I kind of co-opted it, basically. And I used to sit in front of the telly recording Top of the Pops through a mic. But I remember Close to You by the Carpenters came on. And I started kind of improvising a fuzz guitar solo with my mouth over the top of it. And that became a regular thing for me. And then I started to make kind of sound plays with my sisters. I've got 2 older sisters. So we used to script these plays and record them on tape and involve the dog. And and then I worked out that if you turn the tape over and record it backwards, it sounds really cool when you play it back forwards.
So you kind of figure out sampling at the age of like 7 or 8 or whatever.
Just tape recording stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But that's my earliest interactive memory of music and me.
And then having a kind of a music teacher as a mother, then were you playing instruments as well at that point, or did you?
I wouldn't let her near me.
Okay.
In terms of like music,
Yeah.
She tried to teach me the piano, and I hated it. I hated basically. I was one of those really, really nightmare children who just wanted to do the opposite to everything that their parents said.
Right.
You know.
And you were the youngest, you said, right?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So I was, as far as she was concerned, I was unteachable.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
But that being said, I mean, my mum's, she's just alive still, bless her. She's got a perfect pitch, right?
Mad.
And what that meant for her was that whenever someone like Elvis Presley or Frank Sinatra came on the radio, she would just wince and go, "Ew, that horrible man, he's singing out of tune." And also, my mum and dad hated any music with drums in it. So it was all like really, really shit classical music in my house.
Yeah.
Not good classical music, just really whack classical music. What's colonial classical?
I was going to ask, what is whack classical music and what is good classical music in your view?
Well, it's either good or it's not.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, fair.
And obviously I'm being completely subjective. But I don't know. I mean, like, I didn't really share her taste, let's put it that way. She was into Mozart and Sibelius and Haydn and Handel. Whereas for me, it was all about the Impressionists. It was all about Debussy and Ravel and Fauré and Eric Satie, and Stravinsky. Fucking love a bit of Stravinsky's heavy, our taste did not really match.
Yeah. And then I guess when you're at the point where you can start buying music, you've kind of got your own collection and all this stuff, what did it kind of transform into? Where did that go from?
Well, I mean, my first record purchase was Two Little Boys by Rolf Harris. And my second
context is
my second was Rock and Roll Parts 1 and 2 by Gary Glitter. So scarred. I mean, like in the 70s when I learned that these two guys were paedophiles, and they, the first records I ever bought, I don't know if that was involved in my decision to make drum and bass or not. I've got no idea. You tell me.
Wow. You know what? I respect you for keeping that in as well, because I think some people would have just
try to cross
that bit.
Yeah, 100%.
Gone straight to something else. Yeah.
No, I enjoy the kind of the light and shade.
Yeah.
Was the you said your mum hated drums?
Yeah.
So is this the rebellion starting?
Maybe. Maybe it is. Yeah, maybe it is. There's no way I would have been allowed to learn the drums.
Yeah.
When I said I wanted to learn guitar, what I meant was I wanted to learn electric guitar.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Not in my house, you're not." So she bought me a classical guitar, which I did get my kind of my fingers around. I got quite good at classical guitar.
That's quite. I literally had exactly the same thing. I started with Spanish classical.
Yeah.
Went to acoustic. Then when I was like 14 or 13 or something, then I was like eventually allowed electric guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems. I guess electric guitar is like it's the noisiest one. So from a parent's point of view, they're like, I just don't want to hear that.
Well, I couldn't afford to buy when I was that age. I couldn't afford to buy an electric guitar. So someone gave me an old Woolworths like half size electric guitar, which I dismantled and rebuilt with better pickups and kind of custom. I still got it.
Nice.
That was my first guitar. Couldn't afford a guitar amp. So in those days in the 70s, like there were jumble sales everywhere, and you go into a church hall and pick up a valve radio, and then like mod it slightly so that you could use it as a guitar amp, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So all my early guitar amps were basically like old 1930s valve radios.
I bet that must have sounded pretty cool though, right?
Yeah.
If it's all valve as well, it's got like a, what do they call it, analog warmth to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. So then thinking about that guitar kind of era and the 70s going into the 80s, I guess that's the kind of the dawn of electronic music, I guess. Well, I guess it started in the 70s, but at what point were you intercepted by it?
Really interesting. I was aware, because in the 70s I was into prog, and I was aware that there were people like Brian Eno. He was in Roxy Music at that time, and he was using an EMS VCS3. I didn't know what it was called then, but he was making these kind of like squeaky sounds, and also Pink Floyd.
Come on,
loads and loads of like heavy EMS work in Pink Floyd's albums. And again, like I just saw it as a kind of part of all of this, But I was aware of Tangerine Dream, who were just like heavy synthesists. And it wasn't until it was like 1980, I was in my first year I did a performing arts degree, and I bought Computer Love, Kraftwerk, when it came out on vinyl. And that was like, whoa, this is opening doors and windows in my mind. This is what people can do. This is what I could possibly do, And the college I went to, I went to Middlesex. It was a polytechnic then, because my mum wanted to get me out of the house because I was working in a guitar shop, smoking weed in my bedroom, and she just wanted me out. So she tried to get me, and I wasn't interested. And then she put this brochure in front of me, and it was like recording studio, and I was like, there's an 8-track and a mixer. I want to go, you know. So I got in, and it was wicked because that was good, but what was really good was they had a synthesizer room. They had 2 synth laboratories.
Nice.
Right, that no one was interested in using.
Yes, I guess at this point it's like it's this new unknown thing, isn't it? That people
1979, 1980.
Yeah.
And they were packed full of 1960s tech. You know, packed full of Putneys and VCS3s and just like, I mean, I absolutely loved it. It was wicked, and loads of tape recorders. And so I taught myself synthesis, and I taught myself how to use a studio because I persuaded the technician to let me cut a key to the studio block. And I was living on campus, so I would just go in all night, every night. And I think he recognised that I had some tiny bit of talent or something. But I basically taught myself how to use the studio as an instrument, and it was wicked because it was also plumbed in to the main performance room in the classical building, which is sort of across the corridor. So I could and it was 8-track tape, so I could make a kind of drum track on a VCS3 or drum machine, set it going, run across the corridor, start playing the harpsichord or the piano or marimbas or, you know, and just multi-track and multi-track and multi-track. So I learned so much doing all of that, and it really helped to shape the kind of sounds that I like, you know.
I guess at that point as well, you wouldn't even really know what the music you were making was even. It didn't have a name, right? It didn't have a genre.
No.
It didn't have a style. You were just pure.
No, I was heavily influenced. I mean, I used to listen to John Peel all the time, and I was just influenced by whatever he played on the radio that I liked.
Yeah.
Know? So there was a lot of early dub influences from him, a lot of new wave, you know, a lot of kind of like good punk, kind of like, and weird shit, you know, like very, very early Scritti Politti before they were famous, that kind of thing. Sort of that weird sort of fusion of post-punk and electronica that started to happen in the UK.
Yeah. And at this point, were you like playing in bands and stuff as well? Or was this purely like a solo venture?
Well, I was trying to get bands together. I got a band together called Limbs in Action, which could have been really good, but all the other band members were too scared to actually go and do gigs.
I mean, we did
a couple of gigs in the student union.
Yeah.
You know, and then like the drummer was wicked, and his dad told him he couldn't do it anymore because he had to focus on his studies. It was like one of them.
Yeah.
So that amounted to absolutely nothing. You know, very disappointing, really.
Yeah. So it was just like a solo venture after that, basically.
Yeah, kind of. And just, you know, me in my little bedroom with a reel-to-reel tape recorder. I mean, I've got all those recordings and they're awful. Like really, really bad. I used to write terrible songs. I used to try and sing them and sing really badly. You know, write awful lyrics. You know, like real kind of post-teenager, kind of angst-ridden, like self-piteous lyrics. You know? They're so cringe. But you know, this is where we learn.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Don't we?
Yeah.
We have to make loads of shit before we can make any gold.
And I think the nice thing about that as well is there's no pressure to release anything as well at that point. I feel like now...
Well, it was impossible to release anything in those days.
Whereas like now, I was actually having this conversation last night with someone who's just started producing music like 4 months ago.
Yeah.
And they were talking about like, oh yeah, you know, I'm going to get my first release ready and stuff. And I was like... There's like no rush, man. Like there is no rush. Like, but I feel like now
what happened to paying your dues?
Yeah, and I feel like now there is.
Yeah.
Well, there's a pressure now. I feel like as soon as you learn how to like get a splice sample and like maybe make a Reese bass or something, that's like I'm ready to do a release. Do you know what I mean?
Also, they can just see these other kids that sometimes are in that position, and it's so much like you said. You hinted towards it's like you don't have to do your time anymore. Like in our day, you had to earn your stripes. It took a while. The whole point was about the longevity, and eventually you'll get there. Now it's like you can actually just, you know, if you're good enough, like you can just land something, and then boom, like you're gone. Like, and I think that's what a lot of kids they see that and they think it's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, at the risk of sounding like a real old cunt.
It's all right.
Can I use that word?
Yeah,
You can.
you can say it.
And also you can definitely do this because it makes me not be the only old cunt in the room.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Your time will come, guys.
I'm already there, to be honest, but
yeah.
we'll come on to that. I'm
At,
sure.
at the risk of sounding like a real old cunt, I can't remember what I was going to say, but I enjoyed saying that word twice.
We were talking about.
I was going to add just briefly there about like you. Oh God, no! I've now forgotten what I was going to say. For God's sake, it's going around the
Quality
world.
podcast in there. Yeah.
I fucked that up.
Call me a cunt, Jack. Come on.
God damn it, you cunt.
We were saying about how you had to pay your dues and do your time.
Yeah, oh, that's it. Yeah. So I am increasingly grateful that I am as old as I am, and that I did grow up at a time before, not only before the internet, but before computers were used in music. You know, because it forced me to learn things in a very different way, like editing a master. You did it with a razor blade and sticky tape on the tape.
The hands-on.
And it was really, really fun.
Yeah.
Because you just got the tape, you got headphones on, and you're queuing it up over the playhead, and it's going shoom, wheat, shoom, whoop, and you find that the edit point, you draw a bit of Chinograph pencil on the back of the tape, you bring it down onto the thing, and you cut it, and you know, it's really nice. It's like developing photos in a darkroom.
Yeah.
A real kind of like Zen experience. I loved it, and I'm so happy that I experienced that, and I'm really sorry for people who don't get to experience that, you know, because it was gold.
I suppose as well, like it just gives you like another level of understanding of like how like music is constructed and how things go together. And I think that's kind of it's kind of like irreplaceable, really, that experience. So yeah, I mean,
It doesn't mean that I'm any better at what I do.
No, of course,
at all.
but
But
of course.
but I enjoyed it. You know,
Yeah.
it's part of the journey, and I've got happy memories from that.
Of course.
It's way more organic and like that hands-on experience than just
I also think
pressing buttons on a computer and
and
stuff.
happy accidents are more likely to happen as well. That's the thing I think gets overlooked quite a lot in music making. Like I was thinking about the other day, I would say 50% of the good ideas that I come up with are complete accident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you just have to give yourself that room to make those mistakes.
Yeah.
But when everything's so perfect, it's on a computer and it's like samples that are perfectly just constructed already, and there's not a lot of graph there, so I feel like there's less room for those mistakes to be made.
I mean, something from that I use now when I'm recording hardware synths.
yeah,
I always record the take in. Don't save the presets.
Yeah.
It's just there.
It's baked in.
Fucking use it.
yeah.
I never want to. I don't want to go back and tweak
Yeah.
that sound because it was of the moment, and what happens after that is dependent on that moment. So
And equally, you, because of the hands-on skills you've had over the years with this different approach that a lot like this next generation are missing out on, you know that you've got the skill set to be able to, if you did
Get something out
change
of
it,
it.
you could resample it and you
Yeah.
could chop it and flip it and all of it.
Or play it again.
Yeah, or play it again.
Yeah.
Like, and you'd get a slightly different result. And
Yeah.
you'd get that variation, right?
yeah,
Which obviously, you're not going to get really through just duplicating a serum patch.
Yeah. So I guess if we're jumping back, I'm trying to keep track of the timeline now. So if we're jumping back to, let's say, the mid-'80s to the early 90s, you've obviously finished college. What are you doing for work at this point, and where are you at in this musical journey?
yeah. So I graduated in 1980. Was it 2 or 3? Something like that. 1983, and the only way that I could make money was to teach. So that hasn't changed.
Yeah.
And I kind of like, I took any job I could, so I'd get jobs teaching guitar, piano, voice, like anything. I would say I could do it, even though like I've never done it before. and this in those days, again, this was pre-internet. Jobs used to appear in the back of Melody Maker. You know, any music related job would appear in the ads at the back of Melody Maker, which is the newspaper. And there was this advert for a job to run a YTS, a youth training scheme. And in the process of that, it's got to be someone who's built a recording studio before, because you're going to be building a studio with your trainees. And I was just like, my eyes were like, yes, I've never built a studio before, but I'm going to tell them I have. What can possibly go wrong? So I got the job, you know, and actually I managed to kind of wing it, you know, and I learned how to build a recording studio with my trainees who I was supposed to be supervising.
Yeah.
But I mean, they were like a bunch of young offenders from Hackney, and you know, it was very, very rewarding. It was really, really nice. They were teaching me basically, you know, and we built this studio and made tunes, and it was a job.
Nice.
Thanks to Ken Livingston. Actually, the money came from Ken. Big up, Ken.
That's the first time anyone said that in this podcast. But
Probably the last time.
Yeah, that was when socialist mayors actually gave money for good causes.
Yeah.
So it was a wicked job, and I did actually record my first single there, which is my band Is It, which is like a kind of acid jazz rare groove band, and we made a track called Stories, which is the cover version of a very, very rare tune by the Chaka Chaz. And it charted.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
It's bonkers. 1988.
First single. Charted.
Yeah. And that started me on my journey of running record labels, because we pressed up 500 7-inches. And we didn't know what we were doing, but we knew it was a good track, good record. And everyone started playing it. It was just before Kiss went legal.
Okay, nice.
So we took a box into Lindsay Wesker at Kiss FM. And he gave one to each DJ who was there, and it was all DJs no one had ever heard of at the time, you know, like Giles Peterson,
Small names like that.
Yeah. And they playlisted it when they went legal. So they went legal 2 weeks after we gave them these 7-inches.
So you're basically the birth of Kiss FM. Like, if we're just gonna, you know,
we standing on the shoulders of giants, you know, we're just really, really lucky.
Yeah, that's nuts.
And it kind of broke that record. And then Paul Oakenfold rang me up and said, I'm starting a label called Perfecto, and I want to do a remix of Stories. I want it to be the first release on Perfecto.
Wow.
So he did, and it was. Never been accounted to since, though.
So, Paul, if you're listening,
yeah, Paul. Yeah, Paul.
Someone's owed some royalties,
and that actually led to the breakup of that lineup of the band.
That's mad. So so obviously from their first release, from that first single coming out to getting remixed, what was that time span? Because that seemed to happen like really fast.
It's about 8 months. I mean, they were. Whoa. We did our own remix and turned it into a 12-inch and pressed that up, and that was amazing because. This track was hot. It was really in demand. Yeah. So we pulled our resources and made 2012s. And literally, I had a beaten up old Morris Marina that my GP gave me for free because the gearbox was fucked. And there was a mechanic at the end of my road who put a new gearbox in for 50 quid. So I had this Morris Marina, and I drove to the pressing plant in Harlesden, picked up the records, and drove around record shops like City Sounds, like Record Corner in Balham. Most of these shops are gone now.
Yeah. City Sounds, yeah.
And I would literally, because you could park anywhere in those days. I'd pull up outside the record shop. I'd go in, hello, mate. I've got these records that I've made. Do you want to hear them? They didn't know what it was, so they stick it on and they'd be going, yeah, I'll take 100. And like literally cash. So the records cost £1 each to make. I was selling them for £2 each, so it's 100% markup. Sold the lot. That was where I got the bug to run record labels.
Yeah,
that with getting ripped off by a major label. Yeah, because Perfecto was part of London, which is part of Universal.
Yeah, okay.
Never getting accounted to.
Yeah,
that really hurt, and that made me. Those two experiences really put me on this path of forever being independent.
That's a pretty mad origin story. It also makes a lot of sense as well.
Yeah.
So, okay, we have had this major breakthrough. You said the band broke up after this kind of remix thing went a bit west.
Yeah.
So I guess you're back to being solo again. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then obviously I think Hospital was 1996, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So that little 5-year gap, let's say, or 6 year gap.
So I just made I think I made 3 albums under the name of Is It. And they were all done in a really cobbled together home studio in my rented house in Tottenham.
Big up Tottenham, that's where I live now. Come on.
Yeah, N17.
There we go.
It was, and it went really well.
Yeah.
it was one of those times, those prolific times in your life where you can make about 3 albums a year easily.
I've never had that, but
I did.
I can appreciate what you're saying. Just everything just seems to work for you.
Everything was working. So I had to invent other artist names.
Yeah.
To kind of cope with this output.
Yeah. That's like a real purple patch, basically.
Yeah, it was. It was brilliant, and I was just doing it. Yeah.
And the 3 albums, they were all different styles, different genres.
I mean, so Is It was acid jazz.
Yeah, of course.
So they were in that kind of genre. The third Is It album was 1995, and I had discovered jungle and drum and bass, and it only came out in Japan. We were big in Japan. We charted in Japan.
That's a flex.
And
over there as well.
So the first album, I think it sold something stupid like 70,000 units in Japan.
Bloody hell.
And so we toured out there, and it was a proper like posh tour.
Yeah.
I had a guitar tech. It was amazing. It's the only time in my life I've ever had a guitar tech was in like 1994.
Crazy.
It was bonkers. Earned some very good money from Japan. We got, and at the same time I'd set up Tongue and Groove Records, which was like the label for Is It.
Yeah.
And that's where I met Chris Goss, because he was designing a flyer for that, and for some reason I asked him if he wanted to come and run the label with me.
Well, first meeting.
Pretty much. Yeah. I was a bit desperate.
Yeah.
No, big up, Chris. I didn't mean it like that. It was a great decision, mate, and it set us on this path. Come on, you got to admit that, Chris. Come on. It wasn't all bad.
Yeah.
Japan was good, and Japan gave me the money through advances to actually be able to start Hospital Records.
Yeah.
In 1996.
So I actually don't know the name Hospital. Where did that come from?
Okay, so
actually, I've never heard this story. I don't know if you.
No. So like me and Chris were like, we've been doing Tongue and Groove. We had released some really awful records, and everyone hated acid jazz. So it was quite clear that we should stop.
Yeah.
We didn't know what to do. But I'd got on holiday in 1995. When I'd been on tour with Is It, I met a girl in Australia. It was tour blindness, right? I mean, I don't know if you've ever experienced tour blindness.
Yeah. Like,
you make bad decisions on tour. I can't go into it any more than that.
I was going to say I want to hear the end of that before I agree to the tour blindness.
But anyway, I decided I was going to go over to Sydney to see her again after the tour ended.
Yeah.
On holiday.
Yeah.
And I went via the Philippines because Philippine air was really cheap. So I had 3 days in Manila. And at the airport at Heathrow, I grabbed a copy of Timeless by Goldie and Rob Playford. And a Walkman, and that was my listening, and it completely changed my path.
So before you bought that album, what was your kind of interaction with jungle at the time? Was it kind of like arm's length? Or
it was. It was going on in Tottenham.
Yeah,
because it's kind of the home of it.
Yeah, of course.
And I could even hear it in other people's houses.
Yeah.
But I was still in acid jazz funk kind of rare groove mode.
Yeah,
But what I loved about what I heard was the duality of tempo.
Yeah.
So slow bass lines, slow rolling bass lines, and fast beats, even though then it was only like 160.
Yeah.
And then I listened to this album and it was like, wow, I want to do this.
Yeah.
This is what I want to do. I've got a studio. We're giving up making acid jazz. We don't know what we're going to do. I want to do this. So when I got back, from what was a disastrous holiday, to be honest, but we won't go there. I said to Chris, look, I want to do this. And he was like, what are you talking about? And I said, I want to make drum and bass. And he was like, so I said, it's okay, look, let's just experiment,
Yeah.
And because Chris isn't a producer, he's not a technician, he doesn't do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So he kind of left it up to me, really. And my kind of mad vision of it was loungecore. So I thought I want it to be like lounge music, but drum and bass. So, you know, and I kept imagining that this would be made by 85-year-old men in an orchestra trying to play jungle. That was kind of, which, you know, nowadays it's quite close to the truth, actually. And so it kind of started to, you know, the first release was Harp of Gold by the Peter Nice Trio, which is a piece of loungecore if ever there was one.
Yeah.
So it kind of started, and it was so far removed from what everyone else was doing. Because at the time it was all about Ed Rush and Optical, the early experience, you know, Dark Step and like, you know, pre-Neuro.
Yeah.
And
even like Dillinger and people like that.
and
as
like
well. Yeah.
metallic sort of skulls on covers and this, that and the other.
Yeah,
So, so this was like, no one knew what to make of us. You know, it was like, they're fucking weird at hospital, you know. But it kind of touched a nerve somehow, and it started to kind of sort of simmer a little bit. You know, people thought we were a bit mental. And then one Christmas I made Song in the Key of Knife, which is Christmas 1996. And literally I was for 3 weeks over Christmas, I was just in that studio the whole time working on that tune. And when I emerged, when Chris came back from his holidays and he came in and listened to it, he was just like, wow, that is sick. That is really special, you know. Because we were going to give up making our loungecore because we were also making disco at the time. We had a hospital and we had Galactic Disco. Galactic Disco was our home for like London disco.
Yeah.
Kind of like early Daft Punk, Idiot Boys kind of vibes. And that was going better than hospital. But I made Song in the Key of Knife and we both realised that's what we should be doing.
I just realised we skipped over the hospital name origin story.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So before we knew what we were doing, well, we never did know what we were doing, but before we started on that thing, we just had loads of days in the pub in the Three Kings in Barons Court, kind of brainstorming names, you know, making lists, and the final two names were Odd and Hospital. My grandfather was a GP, so I think that's why that came into my head. I don't know, but it just seemed good. It seemed, I mean, everyone would know it around the world.
Yeah,
You know, that was good, and also it had. I remember we liked the idea that it had lots of departments.
Okay.
And everyone knows the departments in a hospital.
Yeah.
I was wondering about the puns, if it was like you could see the puns already.
Yeah. So I was, because back then was very album centric, you know, and so I was thinking, yeah, we can roll that out into compilations and events, and it worked.
Yeah, no, it really does.
Yeah, it's
as far as
the
branding
levels are
goes.
mad. Yeah, the levels are mad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, we'll fast forward back to that first kind of eureka moment with Song in the Key of Knife.
Yeah, that was. I mean, back then, still no one really knew who we were very much.
Yeah,
and we figured that the thing to do would be to cut some dub plates and give them to some DJs. And I remember,
was this another music house story?
So I remember cutting some plates, and I mean, I was in fear most of the time. You know, I felt I had full on imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Even then, I was much older than most people making drum and bass, you know, because I had my previous career making acid jazz.
Yeah, you had a whole music career before that, yeah.
So I was in my mid-30s.
Yeah.
At the beginning. I was 36 when I did my first DJ show, you know. And I was terrified going into music house because I felt like a complete fraud. Who's this middle-class, white, specky 35-year-old coming in, and you know, and that was my head just playing games. Of course, it was my head doing all of that to me, but I believed it. So I used to kind of sneak in there and hide in the corner. And just like, fucking hell! I'm so scared. I'm so shit. You know, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
Just like, and but we cut some dub plates and gave one to DJ Lee. Big up Lee.
Yeah, big up Lee.
Gave one to Digo, 4 Hero. Big up Digo. and gave one to Fabio. And Fabio started playing his, and he started playing it at Swerve at the Velvet Rooms.
Nice.
And it was just like, ooh, hang on. And then he asked us to come and play, and I was still DJing with Chris. He was still part of London Electricity then.
Yeah. I have to say as well, I feel like everyone we speak to, Fabio comes into the story at some point, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Like literally every time without fail.
Well, Swerve at Velvet was church. That was church. That was every Wednesday. And I think it was like £3 to get in or something like that. And it was, but the thing, it only housed like 120 people and wicked sound system. Really hot inside, but everyone kept their coats on. So you just did. You just kept your parka on at Swerve, but no one. You wouldn't dance because it wasn't cool to dance. You'd be there sweating like a pig in your coat, And there'd be MJ Cole in his silver bomber jacket, and there'd be Photek, and and there'd be Alex Reese, and all these like icons, in one room, all really young apart from me, It was incredible. And I remember, that's right. We just signed High Contrast, and we got Return of Forever. He just made Return of Forever.
What a record, man.
And I remember I played it off DAT. That's right, because in those days you could play stuff off DAT recorder.
Yeah.
And played this tune. Me and Chris knew it was a kind of game changer of a tune, but it hadn't broken at all. And Bailey was there, right? And after my set, I was like, "What did you think of that tune I played off that, Bailey?" And he was like, "No, that's never going to do it. It's not going to be a big tune." And then a few weeks later, I played it to Rico at SRD. Big up Rico, what a legend. You won't know who Rico is, but he's the most important person in drum and bass, I think. If you know him, you know. Anyway, Rico said, "You know what about that tune, Tony?" He said, "That's going to put your children through school."
Wow.
So he saw it,
Wow.
And Andy C cut a dub plate for himself of Return of Forever. So, and that was in...
Mad.
That was in 2001. Back when Andy could break tunes.
Yeah. I was going to ask as well, and so obviously High Contrast, seminal hospital artists. So with your previous labels, had you done any sort of artist development at that point, or was it all kind of learning on the job with Hospital? Because obviously you've helped grow some of the biggest names.
we did release some other artists on Tongue and Groove records.
Yeah, okay.
On Tongue and Groove. But we were crap at what we were shit at artist development, basically. We didn't know what we were doing. And the records got progressively worse that we released on that label.
It's like artist regression.
Yeah. So I guess, you learn from your mistakes, don't you?
Of course.
There's no such thing as a bad, well, there are bad mistakes, but I mean, you have to make mistakes to learn.
Yeah.
So I think we really started to do it a bit better with Hospital, because our first signings were Danny Bird. There was Danny Bird, there was Landslide.
Yeah.
Who was basically one of the godfathers of dubstep, and broken beat. And there was High Contrast. There was those three.
One person I wanted to ask about as well, because I don't know if you actually ever signed them, but one of my earliest experiences with Liquid was the Influx UK. They did a few bits in Hospital, didn't they?
Did a couple, yeah.
And they remixed one of your tunes, I believe, as well.
Yeah. Firstly, they were Influx Datum.
Influx Datum, yeah.
And then
they becoming they split.
Then they split.
Right. Okay.
And then one of them became the English one became Influx UK.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. I still play some of those tunes.
But they kind of just disappeared as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it had some amazing tunes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, strong start, Danny Bird, High Contrast.
I know.
Yeah. And that's how, were they just sending music to you, or did you?
Yeah. I mean, meeting High Contrast was something else, because Chris and me were playing in Cardiff, and this was just after Pull the Plug had come out.
Yeah.
1999. And this little scrawny kid tried to get the mic to MC, and we were like, no, because we don't know how, you know.
Yeah.
Might be shit. And then the next morning we went into Catapult Records in Cardiff, which was their kind of big, their black market records.
Yeah.
You know, and there was this scrawny kid like working behind the counter, and it was Lincoln, really short hair, and he was like, "Oh, really sorry about last." I said, "Well, no, it's okay." And he said, "Do you mind if I play you some music?" We were like, "Yeah, okay," you know. Yeah. Expecting it to be really, really crap, you know. And he got his mini disc out, and he played these tunes that were incredible disco. I hadn't ever heard anything like it. Disco drum and bass.
Yeah.
But about 185 BPM. Right. So really fast. And I was really like, fuck, what's going on?
Yeah.
And so I said to Lincoln, look, slow it down to 173, and this is our address. Post us a copy. You know, so the next week a mini disc came through. I didn't have a mini disc player, so I had to go to Richer Sounds, big up Richer Sounds, and buy a mini disc player, you know, for 80 quid, and linked it up to the system. And oh my God, this music was brilliant. It was amazing. And basically signed him on the spot, you know. And that was what he'd sent, what he'd made was basically the bones of his first album.
Yeah.
You know, True Colours. So it was fantastic, really. And what had attracted him to hospital was one photo shoot that me and Chris had done, where we dressed as golfers. Well, we dressed as doctors playing golf, basically, in an old disused hospital. And that, I think, appealed to his sense of the bizarre, his cinematic mind. And, you know, so, and he wanted, you know, he wanted to be involved in something like that.
Yeah, of course.
So, which goes to show that those ideas that you might think are too out there, they might actually be a good idea.
Yeah.
100%.
You know.
I don't want to skip over your kind of personal releases alongside Hospital. I'm trying to like tell the story at the same time, but you already mentioned your first album on Hospital, Pull the Plug, came out 99, did you say? Yeah. Let's just talk about that for a bit. In terms, so you kind of had the art of writing albums down at this point. You've released several under the Is It alias. I guess what was the difference between making an acid jazz album and making your first drum and bass album?
I mean, it's really funny. Like when I listen to that album now, there are 3 tunes on there that are over 11 minutes long.
Yeah, I noticed that today when I was looking.
I mean, it's you know, nowadays when we get our promos sent our promo MP3s, and it's like the extended edit is 3.5 minutes.
3.5 minutes. Yeah.
It's like, fuck, you know. There's no time in that to actually let a tune develop at all, you know. But in those days, it was brilliant because there was no notion of a DJ friendly structure.
Yeah.
You know, let alone a streaming friendly structure. I mean, there were radio edits.
Yeah, I guess you're limited
Radio
by
1.
how much you can put on a vinyl as well. But
but we used to happily fit 12, 13 minutes on one side of a 12-inch.
Yeah.
You know, if it's a single. So that's one difference. I could make really, really long tunes because it was drum and bass.
Yeah.
I was allowed to, you know. And I loved that. You know, I really enjoyed the freedom that gave me.
Well, I mean, there is. So I've been. I think I spoke about it already in this podcast. I've been looking at Brian Eno's. What's these cards called? Not creative strategies. They're called
those cards.
Oblique strategies. Yeah.
Oblique strategy.
Yeah, and one of the key ones is like be self-indulgent, because that is literally a key part of making music.
Yeah.
Like
and it is actually, because if you can be self-indulgent well, in a way that isn't gonna shut the door for people.
Yeah.
So it's what flavour of self-indulgence you do.
Yeah, it's like measured self-indulgence. Like you need to.
And it has to be not stealing someone else's self-indulgence.
Exactly.
You know, it's authentic to you. Then that becomes part of your signature sound, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And that then becomes an identifier. When people hear a tune, they know it's by you.
Yeah.
Because you've got this weird thing going on that only you would do. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So with Pull the Plug, when you look back at that album, and you look at the music you're making now, are you feeling like? How am I trying to ask this question? Like, does it feel like that first album really encapsulates what you're doing now? Obviously, things would have developed and, technology's changed and improved or whatever. But when you listen back to that first album, are you still like, yeah, that's very clearly something that I made? Or do you feel like you've...
I mean, if you look back at your own music, we all make music in this room. If you look back at your own music, for a start, it's quite difficult not to pick holes in it.
Yeah.
And just think, my God, how crap was I when I made that, And I think we all do that.
Yeah, massively.
But of its day, of its time, it had something. And, I can't judge my own work. It actually makes no difference to anyone what I think about what I've made. It's what they make of it. And I have to remind myself that a lot, because it's actually nothing to do with me.
Someone pulled me up in the Patreon group about this yesterday. I don't know if you saw this.
About Mindless.
Because obviously the Spotify things came out yesterday, and I was looking through the artist one for me, and our most streamed tune was still came out in 2018 or something. It's still our most streamed tune in 2025. And in the Patreon group, I was just like, I hate this tune. And someone literally
do this every year.
I know, but someone literally pulled me up on it. And was like, basically what you just said. One of our patrons was literally like, you shouldn't be so down on your own music because it's done well. And it's kind of built this fan base for you or whatever, and it's obviously meant a lot to people that have played it that much. So it's 100% right.
I think it's meaning a lot to other people as well. I've always said that all the way up until the day you release a piece of music, it's yours as the creator. And you loved it enough to put it out that day, right? The day you put it out, it's no longer yours. It's everybody else's. They're all going to build this emotional connection with yourself. And you should just be proud of that.
It's true.
Regardless of how many people it is and what it is.
Yeah, regardless of numbers.
It's not yours anymore to kind of be emotionally attached to, I think. That's just my take.
It could just be someone's favourite song.
Exactly.
And that in itself is beautiful enough.
Exactly.
It's really true. I mean, I had that battle that you were talking about with Just 1 Second.
Yeah.
Not even my own version. The Apex remix.
The remix. Yeah.
Big up Rob Apex.
Yeah. R.I.P.
And for a while, I felt almost resentful of the fact that everyone just wanted me to play Just 1 Second, the Apex remix. But now, I mean, it means a lot to a lot of people. Loads of people have used it for their wedding tune, walking down the aisle and stuff like that, which is
nuts.
Crazy.
That's mad.
Because I do this job to build connection with people. That's why I make music, because I want them, I guess I want to be heard and I want to make a connection. It doesn't get any more connected than that, really, does it?
No, not at all.
So I'm over my ego now. My ego was kind of telling me, "Oh no, you should make something better." It's like, well, it's none of my business whether it's better or not. People love that tune, and so I embrace it now, and I really, really enjoy playing that tune out. Because it captures moments for people. Yeah, and we find that we have moments in our careers like that.
So you had a period of time where you maybe weren't doing that, and now you've gone full circle.
Yeah, I mean, I always had to play it. People would have thrown Stella cans at me if I hadn't. But yeah, you have to. And what you said, Jack, is absolutely true. I mean, I believe, adding to that if you don't release a tune, not only is it only yours, it actually doesn't exist. Only music and art only exists if people can appreciate it. Otherwise, you never even fucking made it. So what are you going on about? Which is something that I've been trying to teach myself recently to help me get more prolific. Is to let go. And not be a perfectionist. Because I don't know if you've all done this, but that thing of, I'm not going to let that tune out into the big bad world until it's really perfect. Really what I'm saying is I'm so scared that I'm going to be rejected by everyone that I don't want people to hear it. So it's just like, it doesn't exist then.
Exactly.
Just get it out there.
I mean, it's interesting you say it because I would consider you pretty prolific.
Yeah.
You know, like, but obviously only you will know how much more you could do because
I mean, I've only made an album I think on average every 5 years. I'm just old.
Yeah.
Basically. It's not prolific.
Yeah,
I'm
fair.
not Caliber.
Yeah, no, fair,
You
fair.
know.
So fair. Yeah. Yeah, to be fair, we've done 2 in 5 years, so we're on the same rate as you, basically. That's good. That's good to hear.
It's a reasonable return.
I think that's all I have in me, to be honest. Like the mental strain after doing one album.
We can't all be Pola and Bryson, eh?
Yeah.
I'm trying to do the maths. My brain ain't working.
Couple years, I
We've
reckon,
done
for
4.
you.
We've done 4, right?
4 in
10 years? In 10 years.
9.
That's good.
That's a good rate.
That's good
Probably
going.
stop for a bit.
That is a good rate.
Yeah, we've had it.
You ain't gonna stop. You love it.
I need a holiday.
You're allowed to have a holiday.
Yes, I'm having a holiday.
So,
Sometimes that helps, actually, the creative break.
oh yeah,
Like,
that's one of the oblique strategies, mate.
Oh, yeah.
It says one of them's do nothing.
Yeah.
One of the cards is literally do nothing.
Especially if you ain't in the mood. Like, if I'm
point
like trying to
forcing
force
it.
something because someone sent me something, it's just like, it ain't happening. It's like,
Yeah.
actually just, when I'm ready, I'll be like, oh yeah, I want to do that today.
You see, what I take that to an extreme. So, and I did that this year. When I'd finished my album, the latest album, finished it in August, and I started I rang up Marigold, my agent, and I was like, yeah, I think I'm done now. You know, I think that's it. I think it's all over. You know, because I've got no creative juices left. And forgetting that that's what I did the last time I made an album, and the time before that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you know, Mr. Drama Queen enters the chat and tells everyone he's retiring. I fucking did it again.
Like a boxer.
And I'm
Like a
64 years old. What the
pro
hell's
boxer.
going on?
Yeah.
I bet Marigold told you to shut up and get over yourself as well, didn't he?
Well, he started
like, mate,
trying to
you'll be doing it
psychoanalyse me, and I increasingly think he was winding me up. And he said, he was silent for a while, and then he said, yeah, this is about your relationship with your father, isn't it?
Just take 10 seconds to think
Smash
about
that.
something.
He knows too much.
yeah.
Oh man. One thing we're definitely gonna get to the point where, because hospital, for all of us, obviously we intersected hospital all early on in our careers, and it was kind of seminal for all of us, I would say. My first album was actually, my first vinyl album was High Contrast High Society, which was 2004, 5, I want to say. 4. And I feel like at this point, so you've obviously got High Contrast, you've probably got New Tone Logistics at this point as well.
We signed them in 2004.
Okay, there we go. And who else would have been on there at that time as well? Obviously, Danny Burns on the Scientific,
Yeah.
John, yeah.
Yeah, that first album.
Yeah.
The only album they made for us.
Q
Amazing.
Yeah.
Q projects as well?
Quiff was 2006.
Okay, shortly after.
Yeah.
And at this point, you're obviously you're almost 10 years into being a label at this point. Is there, and you've kind of got this whole like liquid, what would you call, how would you summarize what you were putting out at that point?
I mean, Liquid wasn't called Liquid at first.
Yeah.
You know, it was just like, it was the music that Marcus Intellects made, that Caliber made, that Fabio was releasing. And he eventually coined the term because he did a compilation, didn't he? And he called it Liquid Funk.
Yeah.
You know, and that stuck. So I don't even know what we called it. Don't know. But yeah, what was your question?
Well, the question was going to be, what was like the atmosphere like at the time in that camp? Was it like a bit of was it competitive, or was people bouncing off each other? Because I know you always hear stories of like eras of labels where all the artists are kind of just on fire at the same time. And
it was remarkable.
Yeah.
It was amazing for quite a number of years.
Yeah.
You know, there was this incredible energy, not only with the artists but with the staff, where it felt like we were all passionate about the same things and all moving in the same direction.
And I guess your events are going quite well at this point as well, because you had hospitality. Is it Herbal?
Started at Herbal
Yeah.
in 2000.
Yeah.
And then did that for a few years there, then moved to Heaven in 2005, which was just mental queues around the block, you know. And it was bonkers because in those days, like, the events game was very different. You know, it wasn't. I was talking to Rob from Blast about what it's like to promote events, and he said at the moment it's modern drone warfare. That's his take on it, and that's what he does all the time. You know, back then it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
So, heavens.
Well, like we said before, right? Probably people were buying tickets at the time of release rather than 2 days before the event.
No, they weren't, because the internet wasn't really a thing. So there weren't all these advanced sales.
Yeah, true.
But we used to, like the first few Heavens we did. I mean, we hired the place out for 1,800 quid, right? And we kept the door. I mean,
bargain.
It's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And we would sell it out with like 2,800 people or whatever it was, you know. So we could go to town, and that was like, I mean, we booked Andy C for room 2 because he wasn't a hospital artist. Got to remember, in those days, hospitality, room 1 was only hospital artists.
Yeah, yeah.
So you had to be signed to make albums on hospital if you could play in room 1.
Yeah.
You know? And the headliner would be someone who was in album cycle. So that was just like the way it was.
Yeah, it was all
brilliant.
artist focus, yeah.
For all the artists, you know.
Yeah.
Andy played in room 2, you know, and I mean, we had Screaming Benga in room 4, I think. Over 200 quid.
Wow.
So it was a very different time.
Yeah,
you know, it was really amazing. But the whole team, and the artists, we were all in this together, working in the same direction, and it was beautiful, you know. And we didn't have that many staff in the hospital office in the Purple Gates, so the biggest room we could just dedicate a ping pong table to that, and that was wicked because we'd be working really, really hard because we all loved our work. 4 p.m. down tools, ping pong tournament every day.
Nice.
You know, and we play for an hour properly. You know, that was really, really good for morale.
Yeah.
You know, the morale was sky high. It was incredible.
And who was the ping pong don?
I mean, I'd like to say me, but that would be lying.
I can tell you were thinking about it.
Yeah.
She was it. Yeah.
I think that Zach Viber was basically because he had this crazy serve. Like, even if you knew him really well and played him loads of times, you couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, all kinds of spins.
Counterintuitive serve.
I got one of them.
Have you?
Yeah.
Let's play one day.
Yeah,
I'll tell you if it's as good as Zach's.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So that period was fantastic up until about 2011.
Yeah, and 2011, med school would have already been a thing as well at that point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's med school something I wanted to spend a bit of time on because we've spoken about on this podcast specifically.
We get spoken about a lot on this podcast,
so
actually.
Much.
Yeah, a lot.
Because again, this is really where I'm really fully in drum and bass at this point as well, and I think we all are. In 2011, I'm at uni. It's like drum and bass is a thing. Yeah, med school. Yeah, for me, just that first batch of artists that you had on there was nuts. It was really, and the music that was coming out. Because obviously at this point, Hospital was really established. You're the biggest independent label in drum and bass. So, you know, all the events I've been going to as a teenager. And then, suddenly I'm hearing guys like Bop. And we had Everwood on the podcast. We spoke about his whole first album cycle.
Yeah.
You had, I think Keno and Will were probably like 16 or something when you signed them.
Well,
I remember hearing you talk about them on your podcast.
Keno and Winey,
Yeah, Keno and Winey. They were like super young.
They were like 18.
Yeah, they were like children, basically.
That's
spotty teenagers.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I mean, like Woody. I set med school up because I sensed that Hospital was going too mainstream for all of the demos and stuff that we were getting. And this was when we used to listen to all the demos. I listened to all the demos that came in, and there was some brilliant music coming in, but there's no way that we could fit it on the release schedule on Hospital.
Yeah.
So I wanted to start up a new imprint. But yeah, a few years after we started med school, I think it was Dan Newtone said, you should listen to this bloke called Etherwood. He's got a free download on Jack Wobb's website.
Oh, you spoke about this, yeah.
And it was like, I listened to it and I was like, I I heard waitlist, you know.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And they were spoken as well. So I rang Woody up and he was like, oh, yeah, great. You know, and I played these tunes to Chris and I think to Tom as well, Tomahawk, big up Tomahawk. And they were both like, nah, can't see it. Because I thought they'd sit really well on Hospital.
Yeah.
I was like, look, I want to sign Woody as an album artist to Hospital. And they were like, we can't see it. So I said, okay, I'll do it at med school.
Yeah.
And so it came out really quickly in 2013. And the big release on Hospital at the same time was Camo and Crooked's album, you know. And Woody outsold Camo and Crooked. Sorry, Ronnie and Marcus. You won in the end.
That year,
it's not a competition. Yes.
That interestingly, I'm about to make a point like quite relevant to that because I remember going to the awards that year and Woody cleaning up. I think 2, maybe 3 awards.
Yeah,
and they weren't like I think they weren't. I can't remember what it was, but it was like maybe like best like track, and then there was like a couple of other ones.
I think he got track. He got newcomer. Album? He might have got best album. I can't remember
best album, but like I remember it being crazy. Part of the reason I remember that I actually won best newcomer MC because I was the MC at the time. Sorry,
there you go.
Get that one in there.
Yeah, get that one in there. But
like, you won any awards since then?
No. Okay. Yeah. Best MC's always eluded me, and will continue to do so. But no, I remember it clearly, like being like, who's this guy
with the pony?
Yeah, like who's this guy? Like walking up on stage, like, I don't even know who this guy is. And then obviously, you know, now like pals and stuff. But it was like, yeah, I distinctly remember it. Obviously, I had my own personal reasons for remembering that particular one. But at that time, I was working with like AEI and Drum and Bass Arena. I was like going to every single one.
I've forgotten about all the awards he won.
Yeah,
and I was just like, I was very happy for Woody, but I was more happy for me because I was totally vindicated.
You don't want to back to yeah. Woody's success is really my success.
Yeah, that's right.
So I actually want to so you kind of alluded to something there a little bit where you were saying like med school was almost born out of necessity because of the musical direction the hospital had taken. So I guess at that point, that would have been, I can't do maths in my head, that would have been 18 years of hospital. Yeah, 2013 from 96, or let's say 17 years it would have been. Obviously, when you started off hospital, you had this vision of it being a certain way. We spoke about that early influx of artists, new tone logistics, high contrast, all making very soulful, sample-based, kind of like... And then obviously, the scene itself has changed, and hospital's kind of gone with it. What was that like for you, kind of like...
Really good question.
Yeah, like how did you kind of cope with that?
When I started hospital, I was very comfortable because we were outliers.
Yeah.
And I'm always more comfortable being an outlier, you know. For me, drum and bass, our beautiful music, is a rebellious art form. And what happened towards the end of the noughties was not only hospital was becoming this monster, this behemoth, EDM was happening, and you know the kind of like
the Americanization almost.
Yeah, the Americanization, the kind of like the 200 hertzification of snare drums,
200 hertz snare,
you know,
yes,
sidechain pads, all that stuff, and it was, and I was like, this is great. We're at the front of all of this, and this is brilliant, and I love all my artists, but there was a part of me was like, we're not outliers anymore.
Yeah.
You know. So med school was like a really good attempt at doing something that was all about the outliers.
Yeah.
You know. And it really worked for a number of years.
And I guess at that point as well, like I guess the other part of it is right now at this point you've got full-time employees who need to get paid as well.
Yeah.
So it's and you know this is a full legitimate like business.
Yeah.
So I guess some decisions have to be made with that hat on. And some have to be able to kind of creative passion project, you know, kind of DIY stuff on. And I guess that, just to go back to the point we're making my med school, I guess that's why we all love med school, because it was like so different at the time as well. Like, so yeah, like we said, some of those artists, and you spoke about Woody, I think Bop, who still is one of my favourite artists today.
Yeah.
It was like an underground representation of the label, really.
Yeah.
Like, that's the way I always said it.
It was a lovely place.
Yeah.
It got, if I'm honest, because I'm maybe like a different generation. You know, when you're talking about Ed Rush Optical, like the harder sort of stuff, I was more into that. Really, when I actually got turned on to the hospital stuff was really when med school started, because then that was like, oh, this is my version of this. Because I was. I guess, you know how you were saying about how it got more commercial and stuff. I maybe missed the inception because I was a little bit too young. And then it kind of like started getting a bit more commercial. When these guys were getting into it, I was like, that's not really the sound I'm kind of into, if I'm going to be completely honest. But med school, like, ticked that box totally. And I was like, honestly, when it went, I was like really, really sad.
It was kind of the same for me because, like I said, high contrast, new tone logistics, that was my entry point into hospital. And then when I actually started making drum and bass, I was maybe more than, it was early Spearhead, it was Shogun. And then when med school came about, me and Tom, I remember when we first started Galaxy, we kind of said, what labels would we want to get signed to? It was med school over hospital for us as well. And I guess probably similar. No? No, he's just daydreaming in the corner.
He's falling asleep. No, wake up, guy.
It has been known.
I'm not trumping it in the corner, mate.
Have you got a baguette with you today?
No, I have not. No, I totally agree. I just had I was just trying to rethink beyond Woody's album, if there were any other examples of my sort of take on what med school was. But for me, it was very much like where hospital had already proven that musicality could exist in this genre of music and in this art form.
In like a big way.
In a big way, med school proved that it could be, for a lot of the artists on there and a lot of stuff that, like, especially Woody's first album, for me, it proved that the musicality could be everything. It could be almost like, I don't know, it just kind of made it feel a little bit more, and I don't like saying like more like music, but it felt more human. It felt more human and less programmed and less digital. I don't know why. Because I know there was a lot of,
it
like,
wasn't as in your
guitars
face.
And, that's
it wasn't trying so hard.
Gentler.
It wasn't competing in the loudness war.
Yeah.
You know, and you had, I mean, I remember when I got Song About My Dog as a demo.
I got Bop as well.
That tune by Bop, that was like, that just transported me completely. And that's, for me, what good music does. It takes you into a different world. You know? And that tune was like, wow.
Was it Forever Hide Your Tears? That's got a way longer name in it by Unquote.
Yeah, Unquote.
The one that's no snare drum. No snare drum in that whole song.
Yeah.
Great.
I feel like what you're saying
feels like the whole song is just like a progressive house build-up, but in drum and bass, but not drum and bass, in deep, chilled, liquid drum and bass.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I feel like what you're going to say about Woody as well, there was a vulnerability to that music that Woody was making. And I feel like, you know, I make a comparison to how, you know, and you said how you maybe like felt as like an outlier in the early days. Like, you know, you're going into music house with that like completely different representation of this music. I feel like actually Woody kind of did that in the modern day because it was so open, honest and vulnerable. It's like no one was really doing that. I think there's really like, he needs to get props for that because it was truly beautiful, and hence the reason why, you know, was such a success in that time. So good that he was given that platform.
Around the time that med school started, am I right in thinking Syncopated City?
Yeah, I was going to say we need to because obviously you've done.
And I was specifically going to say it feels so much to me like there must have been some sort of subconscious connection between what you were writing at your time on that album and what you were sort of interested in signing and A&Ring for.
I think so, because I think with Syncopated City that was the first album that I made that was half decent. I think
10.
And that's including $1 Billion Gravy. In that conversation.
There were some good tunes on $1 Billion Gravy.
Yikes as well would have been out at that point.
No, Yikes came out after.
Yeah, Yikes was after. Yeah.
But Syncopated City is quite well rounded.
Yeah.
It's a good statement, and there's quite a few tunes on there that I look back on and I think, like, couldn't have done those any better than I did.
Yeah.
You know, couldn't have been any more authentic than I was.
Did you have that moment where, because one thing I've found with like me and Tom is that it's almost like it gets to a point where you can distill your sound down, and it's almost you can keep things simpler. Would you say that was the moment you had there? Because I feel like some apps, I don't know if you had the same thing, Tony, but like where, you know, when you kind of get good at writing music, let's say you learn a lot of different skills, you want to kind of showcase them all in one song.
I mean, I've always had kitchen sink item.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, where I want to put everything into the into one tune.
Yeah.
Which is a fear reaction.
Yeah.
You know, and it can often end up spoiling the music.
Yeah, exactly.
So I wouldn't say that album's particularly simple. But I guess maybe I made it complicated in the right way.
Yeah,
you know,
with more confidence. Yeah.
But it was. I mean, I remember when I finished it and I played it to my long-suffering wife, Coleman. and you know, I was in Crystal Palace and she'd been hearing it through the floor, so she's probably completely sick of it. You know?
Yeah.
And she came up and listened to it, and I played all the way through, and I knew it was good, you know. And she was quiet for a bit, and then the first thing she said was, "Who's going to buy it?" Which is the kind of criticism you want from your wife, you know. It keeps you down to earth, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I said, "I don't know, but I like it." You know?
I did.
Yeah, and it just, I still like it, you know. It's a good album.
Yeah.
So,
and how, actually, it's an interesting question, I think. Maybe, obviously, Hospital went from vinyl era to CD era to streaming era. Obviously, the way people wrote music was also changed with those formats. Was that something that you guys were consciously thinking about at the time, or was it just
streaming didn't change formats for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, you've missed out iTunes.
Yeah, iTunes, yeah,
So
the downloading era, yeah.
Vinyl, CD, downloads.
Yeah, and then streaming. Yeah.
And then streaming.
Yeah.
So at that time, 2008 was really pre-streaming. But it wasn't right. You know, downloads were it.
Yeah.
And that didn't change structures of tunes at all, you know, because I think people saw downloads as basically this is a more convenient CD.
Yeah, of course.
You know? Still purchasing and buying, you're still making that commitment to part with your money, aren't you?
But I mean, like we had a lot of fun on iTunes. I struck a deal really early on with Apple, and we were the only drum and bass label on there for 18 months.
Wow.
So if people liked drum and bass and they had an iPod, they'd buy Hospital.
Yeah.
You know.
Wow. That's crazy.
And that was a mad time because each track was 99p. And you didn't have to manufacture anything.
Yeah.
It was like streaming but paid properly.
Yeah. It was actually really fruitful.
It was. So it was that golden period where you were selling a lot of vinyl, a lot of CDs and downloads. And our artists started to get mortgages and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, started to get paid properly. So it was a fantastic time to be making music and releasing music.
Yeah, I mean, we missed out on that. So, yeah,
I'm sorry.
I watched it and was like, oh, this is a viable
Yeah.
And then realised
Watch it from the
wings,
wings, and then it all changed. Yeah.
Shite.
One question I did want to ask you actually is, what's the project you're most proud of? Both your own, I think maybe you've answered the question, maybe you've got another one you're more proud of than Syncopated Cities, and then of the artists that you kind of helped develop and grow, of their projects, what's the one you're most proud of?
Yeah, I mean, like of mine, I mean, I'm proudest of my latest album and Syncopated City, my new album, Lunatics and Legends.
We'll come on to that. Yeah,
which I'm actually, I think it's really quite good.
Yeah,
and you know, it's better than anything I've made since Syncopated City.
Yeah,
I think.
Nice.
So I'm really proud of those two. And I mean, my artists' work, they're not my artists anymore. They've all left Hospital, those guys.
Yeah.
Apart from Dan and Matt, big up Dan and Matt. I mean, Together by Logistics. I mean, that I remember when that was one of his very early tunes that he gave us on a CD. I've still got the CDR that it was on. And it instantly had that connection to my emotions, you know, and that's what makes a great tune. It bypasses how well produced it is.
Yeah.
Because if you analyse Together, the production's shonky.
Oh yeah.
It really is. But you couldn't make it any better than it is.
Yeah,
and that's the amazing thing. You couldn't get the stems and make it work better than it does.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everything is not the way it is in tutorials and textbooks with that tune.
Yeah.
You know, but that's what makes it so brilliant. and it's got this huge emotional pull, like even before it drops, when those horns come in. Wah, wah, wah. And it's ghostly and it's kind of creepy and beautiful all at the same time. You know, it's an unbelievable tune, and it still gets me, that tune. How many thousands of times have I played it?
Yeah.
And it still gets me.
I think so many of their tunes for me, like they're my two favourite hospital artists. Maybe like probably more understated than a lot of the sort of ones that have been mentioned so far. But actually, I think they're the two most prolific.
I think they're all of us, to be honest. I think that's I think Logistics New Tone is all of our favourite.
They're the sort of balance to the like real like commercial aspect of hospitals.
Yeah.
They like maintain the balance and the integrity like more than like anything.
And that first New Logic album,
I mean that
which that
perfect album.
is that I swear 2012 was the year that we got, or 2011 was Etherwood.
2013 was Etherwood.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
Oh, damn, I'm getting this.
And I think New Logic
it was
was...
like a
only 1 year
3-year
out,
window.
mate.
New Logic was 14, wasn't it?
It was like a 3-year window where you had Etherwood, the New Logic album, you had Spy's first album on Hospital.
Did you say that's
Come On
2014,
Cookie.
the New Logic
Yeah,
album?
Good, yeah.
2014?
Nuts, like.
Fucking hell, man.
2013, Etherwood's album, yeah.
No, but you said New Logic was 2014.
I think it was the year after Woody's album.
That makes me feel old.
Yeah.
Because like, it feels like it was like
Everlasting
more recent
Days,
than that.
yeah.
I don't know
I
why
thought it was further back.
I still play Brown Shoes every single
Maybe it was
set.
further back, I don't know. I mean,
Old.
Yeah.
Shit.
my memory is shot.
Well, it was
so I
in
don't
the
know.
2010 to
I
2000.
reckon you do. You've been pretty good.
You've
so
been,
far,
your memory recall's been excellent. So
Yeah.
it was definitely in that time because we did our 2010 to 2020.
Yeah, you're right.
Jack's doing verification here. What did
Here
you
he
say?
is.
I just say it's 2013, yeah.
Oh, 2013, okay.
Well,
there you
It
go.
was the same year as Everwood. Then you're right.
Yeah.
To be fair, if anyone's a
Here he
hospital
is.
historian,
He's fucking. He didn't even need the iPad.
The fact checker over there.
I was going to say, I didn't want to bring it up earlier because you were in the midst of it all. But like when we were talking about Return of Forever, I just completely forgot. I have it on my fucking arm.
Yeah.
You forgot.
I forget all the time. I forget all the time it's there because I never see it. But it was the first drum and bass record I ever went out and bought. And I only bought it because all of the other records in the rack in that shop had something that I thought just looked a bit tacky and a bit horrible as an artwork for sleeve. And this was just a white label.
Yeah.
It was a white label, and I was like, I'll have it. I'll pick it up, put it on the record player, and was just like, yeah, that's different. Don't sound like anything else I've played today.
Yeah.
White labels.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I miss them.
One thing I had noted down, which I had to mention because I actually forgot about this, was the "Are We There Yet" remixes album. I think you were on that.
No,
I was on.
We
that.
weren't, but you were.
Yeah. Cheers, mate.
Thank you for a very fine remix.
Yeah.
That's your one.
Just get that out there. Yeah. All right, let's fast forward then, because I mean, Shogun Hospital had this slogan. That's why I got
They had a
confused.
slogan.
Yeah, that's why I got confused.
Everyone can see exactly what happened.
You see how that got mixed up in my head. This whole Fast Soul Music, which I think was also the name of a compilation as well. Was it Fast Soul Music?
Yeah, it was the name of a tune on $1 Billion Gravy.
Yes,
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So,
Which I also like that your track titles, firstly, are great, but then also have like bled over into
More.
Yeah.
Well,
been
one
reused.
track
as
that was
well.
The key of Knife is the publishing.
It's the publishing.
Exactly,
Yeah.
Slipknot,
I guess they
Yeah.
from. One, actually, you know what? Before I forget, one track name which I've always wanted to ask you about: "Come Dancing." Is it "Come Dancing"?
Yeah.
Or is it "Come Dancing"?
Oh my
I've
days.
never known.
I'm very immature.
Okay.
So I spelt it C-U-M.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
So it was my Finbar Saunders moment.
Okay.
You know, my Viz magazine moment. Let's not call it come. Let's call it come dancing.
Yeah, okay,
That'll
fine.
be funny.
Yeah. So
I'm nearly 40 years old.
So I was right to ask you.
Fair,
because
fair.
I thought maybe it was like I don't know. I don't know what I thought. So I'm glad that's out there.
I was 42 when I thought of that. What does that say?
I'm 40. I'm still there. Don't worry. It's all right. To be fair, I'd forgotten about the spelling.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, when you said it, I was like, oh yeah, and then
Yeah. You probably got a bit confused there. Like, what's he on about?
yeah.
So you left Hospital Records. It felt like maybe you had a bit of a break as well from making music. Is that accurate?
I've had lots of breaks
Yeah.
from making music. That's why it takes 5 years to make an album.
Fair. Yeah. But it does feel like since you've started your own imprint, another imprint, you've kind of, to me, it feels like you've come with a renewed kind of energy.
renewed vigor.
Yes, because
Yeah.
you were sending me loads of promos, which I never had before, and I was just like...
Before we go there, can we
Yeah,
talk
go on.
about why you left hospital?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I feel like
Yeah.
it's important.
I feel
to
like-
talk.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like, can we talk about that? Like, just tell us what happened. Like, how come?
I mean, it was a gradual process.
Yeah.
I was getting quite depressed, and I can't say that hospital's the reason for that, but I think I'd gone through this amazing situation with Built Hospital Records, and some amazing people on the journey like Chris and Tomahawk and so forth. And like I was saying earlier, you know, it was just this incredible organism, a once in a lifetime moment in business where it's creative and beautiful and working. And I started to get very, very uncomfortable and unhappy. And this was before COVID. You know, this was before Chris Walton got on the video and started calling out the whole of hospital for being racist. You know, I was not happy with the fact that hospital had got so big and we'd hired so many staff that we were having to make creative decisions to pay staff instead of what I'd loved was making creative decisions for the sake of the artists, for the sake of the music, for the sake of the fans, you know, which is how it had been. And it was a gradual transition, but I wasn't aware of it. And I realised one day that, wow, there were discussions going on in the boardroom, and I was like, this isn't why I started and why I loved hospital. You know? I mean, the reason I started hospital was because no one else would sign my music. So but that was right at the beginning. Yeah. But I didn't realise that meant, at first I didn't realise that meant that I should walk, you know, because the other directors like Josh and Craig and Chris, they were like, no, we've got to keep expanding. We've got to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And I was like, I think we should shrink.
Yeah.
I think we should get smaller, you know. And commercial decisions were taken to satisfy the staff, the burden of staff overheads, you know. And we had, I think at that time, we had about 30 staff. I mean, the wage bill was horrific, $250,000 in a year. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah.
How can drum and bass support, you know?
Yeah.
And so we were really at odds about this, you know, and I was getting very, 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 I was getting quite unwell mentally, I think. And it was me that I was doing that to myself, you know. And it was, then some nasty stuff happened. And it was all to do with lockdown, Black Lives Matter. And really, that just killed the fun. It was no longer a fun place to be. It was a very toxic environment at hospital, very, quite dangerous. And I just kind of thought, yeah, this is time, you know, it's time to move on. And I just wanted to just get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
But when you've built a business and you're the majority shareholder and the CEO, you can't just get up and leave, you know. So there was a long process of actually valuing the company, and I guess so I could get paid. Yeah, you know. And that involved a lot of growing up because I'd never thought I'd have to do that, you know. So in the end, like I've got to big up the other directors at hospital. They did borrow the money to buy me out properly, you know. So I'm very grateful to them for that. And I mean, since then, that was like nearly 3 years ago. You know,
Crazy that.
it's amazing. What is amazing on so many levels? It was the right decision for me. What is amazing still is to not have the problems of running a big record label in 2025.
Yeah.
Those problems aren't living rent free in my head anymore.
I was going to say the headspace that you must have freed up. Yeah.
Yeah, because year on year it gets harder and harder for record labels.
Yeah.
It's really difficult. I mean, having started Fast Soul Music as a label just for my own music, and it's a minuscule, tiny little thing, it's made me realise, wow, how do people do it? How? It's like, it costs more to release a tune than you're ever going to make from it.
Yeah.
But I thought streaming was supposed to democratise the whole, so and those problems are multiplied for bigger labels. You know? And the way it is going for bigger labels is that the huge labels are buying up the big independents. The huge labels are using AI to completely redo the mechanics of what it means to be a record label, So the kind of human interface isn't really there so much anymore, and it's disappearing, So I do think the days are numbered for your kind of medium-sized independent record labels in many ways, because all artists can self-release if they want.
Yeah. Well, it's actually interesting. I was going to ask you your view on that, because I guess we've seen the change, right? From when we started to now, like the importance of a label, as it were, has kind of dropped back a bit, right?
Yeah.
Massively. And what do you think the role of a label like that is actually now in 2025?
It's really interesting because when I started Hospital with Chris, we were real gatekeepers.
Yeah.
Or when we reached a certain position, we became gatekeepers. And people looked to us, fans looked to us, to our events. And we were like tastemakers. And we created a subculture. And that's what labels used to do. And that's why artists want to sign to a certain label. Back in those days, artists wanted to sign to Ninja Tune because they wanted to be part of the culture of Ninja Tune.
Yeah.
Well, if you look on Spotify, you can't see the name of the record label. So
you have to scroll right down to the bottom. Yeah,
but no one does. No one's got time to do that.
Yeah, I always think that, but in the context you're mentioning it, it's that
you can't press on the label and see what else they've released or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's no longer relevant or interesting to music consumers what the label is. It's totally irrelevant, and therefore those days are over. And labels now are increasingly they're just trying to chase the latest trend to make ends meet, and that's not what it was about for me.
Yeah, you were creating the trends before.
It's about creating something different.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you if you miss anything, but it sounds like you've kind of you've had your journey, you appreciate it for what it is, and actually now it's almost like relief.
I don't miss. I mean, no, I don't miss anything, but I'm incredibly grateful and proud.
Yeah.
Of my part.
Yeah.
In building Hospital, and for a number of years, it was untouchable. Sort of in terms of music, in terms of changing the game business-wise,
events,
in terms of like vision of product and all the rest of it.
I mean, even just like I feel like some labels still have it now, but like even it's almost like a cult, right? I was at the 1985 event at Roundhouse the other day, and I see that a lot of that in there.
Yeah.
Even the way people dressed to go to those events, it's like that is 1985. You know what I mean? And Hospital merch is just everywhere, right? And it's like. Yeah, you must feel super proud when you see that, right? People just rocking up that little H logo.
I really do, and I think Hospital up until about 2013, 2014, that period, from 1999 to 2013, the work that Hospital put out was outstanding.
Yeah,
it really was. It was completely outstanding, And the Hospital's released some good tunes since then, don't get me wrong. But it hasn't had the same kind of evolution of a culture since then.
Yeah.
You know. So and not many businesses have that at all. It's very I know now how rare it is.
Yeah.
When you're in it, you take it for granted.
Yeah.
And you know, I was always looking to next year, always looking to what was coming out, not what came out. I couldn't live in the moment. You know, I guess I really regret that.
Yeah.
Although I know why. I couldn't live in the moment because I was so focused on improving what we were doing.
Yeah. It was kind of your like role and responsibility in a way, right?
Yeah. And if I remember even back then, people saying, "Well, you must be really proud of what you've achieved." And I was like, "No, all I can think of is what we could do better." You know, that's all I can think of.
Yeah.
And I'm constantly thinking about how we can improve next year. You know, so there was so much energy that went in that direction. I wasn't able to just take it in, and you know, there were moments that were really happy.
Yeah.
It was very exciting, but that's not even a regret for me because I'm able to live in the moment now, and I'm still alive.
Yeah.
And that's amazing.
And
the music's still alive.
Yeah, exactly.
And I can relive it all when I play a long set. You know, that's why I love, like at the Fox and Firkin a couple of weeks ago, it was just me all night playing 5 hours, and I can play all that golden music and bring it to life, and I love every minute of it, you know. So I'm really lucky that I'm still able to appreciate that.
Did the so when you kind of hit this like really difficult period at hospital, did that just completely kill your want to make music as well? How are you kind of managing the kind of the business part of your brain and the creative part of your brain? And yeah, how are they kind of interplaying?
Because it sounds like there's like a weight of responsibility. Like hearing you talk, then it's like you got the staff, artists,
your own
you're
family
thinking
as
about
well.
the next thing,
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
I mean, I kept making records. I mean, 2019 I released Building Better Worlds.
Yeah.
Which it's got a couple of decent moments on it, that album. It's by no means my best, but I did used to hide from the business stresses in the studio, you know.
Became the refuge, yeah.
Which is the good thing about having a business brain and a music brain.
Yeah.
You can hide from one by doing the other.
Yeah.
You know, when the music gets too much, then I would go and work on a contract.
Do some spreadsheets, yeah.
Or do some royalty accounting.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But yeah, it was it. I mean, I also like because we moved from the Purple Gates to Herne Hill,
I remember.
and the Purple Gates, that was a really like weird, strange building. It was an old people's daycare centre.
It was like a house. wasn't it,
Yeah.
basically?
I think I went there once, I think.
And we built our own studio there. Everyone hated it apart from me and Danny Bird. We loved it because it was a trapezoid shaped disabled toilet that we converted into the studio, right? And in order to get anywhere close to a workable sound, we just bass trapped the fuck out of it. So it was nearly all bass trapping.
That 30% of all of the space of that room was just padding, wasn't it?
Yeah. But what that meant was the sound was completely dead, which for drum and bass is brilliant, actually. I find reflections really, I don't know about you, but they get in the way.
Yeah, of course.
When you're making jungle,
Yeah.
you don't want any live sound bouncing around. So I loved it in there. And so did Danny Bird. We both still really miss that space. When we moved to Herne Hill, which is like an all singing, all dancing.
It was a nice studio there. Yeah.
Had a proper studio built by proper studio building people. I hated it. Hated that studio. Spent a fortune on it and I hated it.
Yeah.
It was cold. Like, had air conditioning. And it was soulless. It was like something the majors would put in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it, it was, and that for me was symbolic of my shift, I think. I think looking back on it, I didn't realise this, but
Yeah.
it was around that time that I fell out of love with Hospital Records, you know. And my heart wasn't in it. My heart got left in the Purple Gate.
There you go.
You know.
That's the name of the next album, isn't it?
Yeah. I left my heart in the Purple Gate. That's a country tune. That.
Yeah, proper it is, yeah. Okay, yeah, so now with fast soul music, then I think what I was trying to get to before was, this kind of new energy and kind of vigor behind it. And obviously you telling the story, I'm glad we touched on it, of kind of that last period of Hospital. Makes a lot of sense right now why you feel freer, you've got a lot more headspace, you can think about things in a different way and you can enjoy it in the moment.
Yeah.
And that's clearly reflected in the music as well. Like I said, you sent me quite a few promos and they were wicked. And the album's really, I'm not surprised you said you're proud of this album as well. It feels like not a rebirth, that feels too dramatic to say that, but like, you know?
Yeah, I mean, but it's very collaborative.
Yeah.
You know, there's only one tune that isn't a collaboration.
Yeah.
And so all the other producers involved, they really bring something.
Yeah.
And the vocalists, you know, they all bring something to it.
I love the tune you did with Anal on there, Matt. Like
Unfrozen. Yeah.
One of our favourite producers. Again, Med School, his album on Med School, crazy. Yeah.
Big up Matt Anal.
So that feels like a nice full circle moment, right?
Yeah. No, Matt's wicked. You know, I've always been a fan.
Yeah.
And it was really nice. And he was just, he went into a...
Well, we had him on the podcast, he spoke about it, yeah.
He went into his shell.
Yeah.
You know?
He's also on the questions in a bit.
He is.
So, yeah. But...
what was the idea behind making it such a collaborative album, you think?
Do you know what it was? It was just like, I just thought, I want to enjoy the actual process of making music, and I want to make it with people I love and people whose company I enjoy too, you know. So I'm not overthinking it. It wasn't going to be an album.
Yeah.
You know, it was just going to be tracks. I was like, oh, you know, do that thing, a track every month, you know. And then like, it was when I'd made The Numbers Man with Jolliffe and Gentry, my son Stanley, and that was a deliberately anti-2025 structure. You know, it was a deliberately like, this is going to be quite long and have 4 parts and that, you know. And then I thought I was going to release that in March this year, and I just thought, that's an album track. You know?
Yeah.
So maybe we should do an album, and that's what I did. I'm glad because it works.
And is this all self A&R? Like, how much of this are you doing yourself? Have you got help?
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, when you're collabing, you sort of A&R
together,
don't you?
Yeah.
Like, it just, as long as you know what you're doing, you know. And I mean, I had Ed Priest in to help me do the runnings on the label.
Yeah.
He wasn't really involved in A&R decisions, but he was quite encouraging, which was nice. You know, it's nice to have someone to stop you from thinking everything you're doing is shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's important.
Hype man.
Yeah. So that was good, but it wasn't really any A&R as such.
Yeah.
I think. No.
Yeah. And obviously you said you've done 2 events or 3 events at Fox and Verkin?
I've done 4.
Done 4
this year.
Yeah. I've not been to one yet. I need to come down to one actually. I've heard they're going really well, which is cool.
Yeah. I mean, it was like, again, it was a kind of happy accident because at the beginning of the year, I'd been banging on about, okay, so something that really pissed me off towards the end of last year was artists moaning about the fact that they can't get to play a really good intimate night.
But then when they get booked for it, they turn it down.
but their agent is still charging them like
full price. Yeah.
Full
We've never spoken
festival
about that
fee.
on this podcast.
Yeah, no, this is a regular theme on this podcast. Yeah.
So I just and then like I got the Fox and Firkin asked if I'd just go and play like a regular booking.
Yeah.
And I'd been kind of going on about this, and I just thought, no, hang on. So I rang them up and I said, look, how about instead of you booking me just normally, let me do a night, just give me what you would have paid me, and I'll put a full lineup together.
Yeah.
And we'll only charge £10.
Yeah.
Because what I've been saying on the podcast was like, artists should charge what the market can support.
Yeah, like relative to what they're
And
doing.
if they're moaning and feeling all sad and kind of like, there's no small gigs to play at anymore, then they should drop their fee.
Yeah.
You know, to make it happen, to help the clubs out who are all closing.
Yep.
Because of Brexit and Putin and whatever. So I rang my mates. I said, look, I've got this idea. Do a night for a tenner, and we all pay. You all play for about a third of what you'd normally get paid, and
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to get paid or not, but it doesn't matter because I want to make this happen.
Yeah.
You know, and I put one post up on Instagram and it sold out. Like I didn't have to promote it at all. The first one, and it was like, what? Where did that come from? You know, and then the second one did that as well in June. You know, the third one in September, I had to put about 4 posts up.
Work a little bit harder, yeah.
Work a little bit harder. And then the 14th of November, the one with me playing, I had to put loads and loads of posts up to try and... But we got there.
Yeah,
you know, we
nice.
got there. We packed it out.
Nice.
What's the cap? Does that mean
Like 400 or something, isn't it?
5, but we've been getting 600 in.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Fuck it
The
out.
way
Yeah.
Mindset described it was it just looks like a regular pub.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
And it's like a full-on. It's just like a full-on venue inside.
Yeah.
It's
That's so
got
interesting.
an amazing garden out the back.
Wicked.
Like it's a real TARDIS, you know.
And well, they got like covers. I take like it's covered garden, is it?
Yeah, and
Where is this place? Sorry.
Lewisham.
Lewisham.
Oh, in Lewisham. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm doing the next one. Haven't actually publicised this, but it doesn't matter. I'm doing the next one on May the 2nd.
Nice.
And it's going to be a day and night party. So it's going to be a 12-hour session. And the day bit will be in the garden. And
Wicked.
I want to do some live stuff.
Yeah, nice.
So
Cool.
a few ideas to play around with there.
Big band coming back?
There's 20 people in the big band.
Okay, maybe not.
What about the baby band?
At the Fox and Firkin. No,
They're all now playing for a third of their fee.
ready to play for like
Make it work.
1% of their fee. That's the way that works. But no, I mean, if I can do something live,
Yeah.
not saying I'm bringing back London Electricity live, but
Yeah.
if I can do something live, I'll do it. You know, because it'd be a shame not to.
Yeah, especially with that format.
Yeah,
Basically
yeah.
the summer. It'd be a nice touch.
Yeah. So, but it's a vibe, that show.
Yeah.
It's really, it's got a momentum, and people are talking about it, and
Yeah.
and I'm absolutely dogmatic about the fact that we need to keep it really affordable.
Yeah.
You know.
It's key, man. Like we were speaking off air, like when we did our album launch, we just said $5,
Yeah.
right? Just pay something. We gave all the money to Hurricane Melissa Relief anyway. Like we'll give it to charity. We're not interested in making any money. It's just get people down. I guess if you give a bit of money, it means you're committed almost to go as well. So it's nice. And then, people can have a lovely evening.
Yeah.
So I'm totally on board with that.
It's the one, and you know what you, as an artist playing what you don't get financially, you get it. You get far more from the vibe.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
It's an incredible vibe.
Even we played Corsica
Last night we did.
Oh,
yeah.
wicked.
for Shogun Sessions.
Also, I've just realised I forgot that this episode won't be going out like tomorrow.
Yeah.
So like a week from today, we're announcing that in January to April. Sorry to commandeer the conversation, but we're doing specifically like a UK tour, but all the clubs are under 300 cap. We're just doing as small a venue as possible in the cities that we haven't been to. So like not your obvious spots like Bristol and London and Brighton and whatever. Going like Guildford, Portsmouth, Cardiff, Edinburgh for the first time.
Wicked.
So like, I'm really gassed for it.
That's going to be exciting.
Small clubs are fucking great, man.
They are. They really, truly are.
They always just get such a better fucking vibe.
Yeah.
They need it as well. It's such an important point you made.
Yeah.
It's like there's only one way to stop this absolute avalanche, and it's to do things like what you're doing.
Yeah.
And for people to support underground roots drum and bass nights. Otherwise, we're all just going to end up at a D&B All Stars once a month for the rest of our lives.
We're not even going to be. That won't even happen, mate. That bubble will burst.
They're struggling too. It's already bursting.
Yeah. So like the underground is always got to be sustained, right? And the right people will recognise that, and they'll do what their bit here and there and stuff.
Well,
Those that
unfortunately, I
don't,
feel
like you kind of fall off, right?
It's weird, isn't it? Because you almost, in a kind of almost like a bit of a dark way, you almost need the bubble to burst for a cultural reset. And I think we're kind of getting to that. I think we're approaching that point now, basically, because obviously, like you touched on it before, right? The majors are buying up the labels because obviously drum and bass is very hot right now in the charts. But that won't stay the case forever, right? The majors will move on to something else in a year or two, and then there'll be some stuff left behind.
I don't think that's the way it's going to work. I think
the
majors are hoovering up all genres forever. They're not going to suddenly leave one behind because it's not making as much as it did yesterday, because it's all incremental income for them. So and they take a granular approach to it.
Fair.
You know, and the same thing has happened with events. You know, the whole kind of like the All Stars brands, worried about Henry, that's all financed by venture capitalists who live offshore.
You
know, so it's not local they act like local promoters, but they're not. You know, it's a very aggressive business model that's aimed at disrupting the whole scene and putting other brands out of business. You know, there are some nice people worried about Henry, who I get on really well with, but that model of capitalism is very toxic. You know, and unfortunately, that's happening around the world with music. You know, we're seeing it with Spotify, Daniel Ek investing in
weapons companies,
AI drone.
Will
be sold
KKR,
to Israel.
KKR that own lots of events.
So unfortunately, we're living in this. You know, we're coming out of a utopian time. Where we thought people were nice and the world was safe. You know, and unfortunately, music's got dragged into it. So what's important is to remember that music is an art form, and we can, through music, react against all that evil shit that's going on in the world. And that's what music's always done a really good job at doing. You know.
Agreed.
We just have to remember that.
And it's not a huge step, but small steps are better than no steps, right? I've deleted Spotify and I've cancelled my subscription. I'm still using Apple Music, but the rates per artist are better. The numbers aren't on there in the stats and figures, so you're not comparing yourself. And ultimately, they're not investing in AI weapons firms. So I feel a little bit better about myself morally for sacking off that payment every month and actually get back in something else. Like
Q-Buzz. The French one. So I actually started a trial period on this recently. And honestly, it looks fantastic. The usability is very, very similar to Spotify. You can see what they've done. And I remember I saw that post. You see that post from Dub FX? He posted about how he'd taken all of his music off Spotify and he was like recommending
Stingray
people.
did the same as well, didn't he?
He was basically recommending this French platform. It's QOBUZ, if anyone wants to look it up. I actually went on there, got a thing, and like all of my music's on there. And it looks just like Spotify, and they pay, I don't know what it's like about 10 times more per play than Spotify, maybe even more than that.
It's like 5 times what Spotify pays.
I think I'm getting that wrong. I think I'm under-egging that, but I don't actually know what it is.
Has it got a question for my family? Because Stanley, he's the trumpet player, who's 16 years old. He listens to the deepest jazz you can possibly imagine. Is that all on Q-Buzz?
So I know that since I've been seeing it get mentioned, and obviously as soon as you're doing that on your phone, all of a sudden I'm getting loads of Q-Buzz shit on my Instagram, all this stuff. So I saw a post, but I think it was actually today about it, and someone was like, not all the music is on there. Like
you'll get there though.
And they're currently, going through the process that. Do you remember when Spotify first came out?
Nothing on there.
And I was like, I was looking up Pink Floyd tunes. Like trying, because I was like, they
went on for ages.
All the shit that like I grew up listening to from my dad, and was like, I don't own this music, so for me this is convenient, and I'm paying a subscription to Spotify to listen to this, and I'm like, it doesn't actually have it yet. They're, I think, in a transitional period, but I was very impressed the fact they had all my music, and if they got all my music, I mean, not to like palm myself off, but it's not like I'm like some fucking. I guess it's probably maybe easier to get mine than it is some of the mainstream artists. I guess you've got more contracts to sign, more like holes to like hoops to jump through and whatnot.
Hot take. What do you think is more effective? to someone like a company like Spotify, artists pulling their music or fans pulling their subscriptions?
Fans pulling their subscription.
100%.
Yeah, line, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because especially with the AI stuff, like the most popular Christian artist on the planet right now is entirely AI. And that's been like Spotify are plugging them, they get banners and everything. Like,
Are you being serious?
100%.
Yeah.
Spotify wants to replace every single one of us.
Oh, yeah.
That's Suno.
Yeah,
That's Suno. That's another conversation.
But that
We
is
can have a
exactly the
conversation
reason
about that.
why people like, and it's not me being like, what do you mean I've got to pull my catalogue? Fuck that. But equally, pulling our catalogue isn't actually going to do anything.
Do you know what I think needs with the Q-Buzz thing? Obviously, I haven't been on it very long, and I need to like do a bit more exploring. But I think the things that Spotify does so well, like
algorithms. Yeah.
it's like when I put on a tune because I haven't cancelled my Spotify subscription yet.
We were talking about this in the car, weren't we?
A tune on a beach on Waiheke Island in New Zealand, and honestly, it was like an Nile tune, I think. And what it played me for the next 30 tunes was like, oh my god, I forgot about this tune. I don't even know this tune. What is this tune?
Yeah.
And I was like, this is mad. And
Their recommendation engine is nuts.
Crazy. So obviously, I don't know the levels of,
and they're evolving that all the time.
Yeah.
You know, it's staging.
That's where they're putting a lot of their money. Yeah.
But do you know what's
the competition
worth noting,
needs
though?
to smash that.
Sometimes
basically.
that algorithm thing can sometimes feel quite bleak, right? In terms of how you discover new music. And we were talking about this, right? Because I've always felt like we can always pick out the bleak bits in how music needs to be marketed nowadays.
Yeah.
But we always forget to point out the positive things. And I was talking to John in the car here. Apart from I get to the end of said album and the algorithm just takes me on a journey and I'm like, these are really great tunes. I'll add them to my library. Apart from that, the way I hear about music more than any other way is by hearing a song I like. It's got a collaborator on it that I've never heard of. And I go, who's this dude? And I go on their profile. And like the last 10 artists I've become obsessed with over the last 2 years, that's how I've done it. And I think more and more, this whole, we got a band together, we got community driven, write tunes together, release tunes together, support them together. It's so key because apart from the algorithm, I think that's that community driven support side of things. It's all we've really got left, right?
Yeah.
So
labels.
do you feel like you said we come out of like the Utopia, which you very much lived because of, you know, your whole story then is like a really beautiful story, like a journey through music, you know, the genre that we're all involved with and love. Can you see, because obviously you're saying, and I agree, I think we are as a middle school person, it's been dystopia for quite some time because I have a full-time fucking job and I've been in this game for over 25 years.
Yeah.
Do you feel like there is a utopia beyond like that? Because you went quite bleak with that, like major, like swallowing everything up, like fuck it, like that was, and it's real, but it's bleak. Like, do you see, like, what do you see beyond that?
I think. I mean, I'm going to get more bleak.
I had a feeling.
I honestly believe that there has to be a world war.
Right.
Things to get better. And that's just looking at the way mankind operates.
Yeah.
Over the years. The so-called utopian time that I was talking about is basically it's only affected the privileged people in the West. Mm-hmm. So we've had a utopia in the UK, Europe, and USA. They haven't had a utopia in Palestine very much.
Yeah.
You know, there's been genocide happening there since 1947, whenever it was. So, it's a post-World War II utopia, basically. Democracy seemed to be working.
Yeah.
It was working.
We are technically in a pre-World War III era at the moment.
Yeah, and
officially.
it's quite clear what's happening now is that the people who are running this planet, they're not democratically elected. You know, and I'm not only talking about Putin, Trump, etc. I'm talking about the oligarchs
the banks.
who control our technology.
Yeah.
And I was talking to someone this morning, and he was telling me that NVIDIA, they are now valued. Their value
4.3 trillion, isn't it?
It's greater than the whole financial output of the United Kingdom.
Yeah, their GDP. Yeah, higher than the GDP of the UK.
Yeah.
It's a company that makes computer chips.
Yeah.
Should not have more money than the people of an entire nation.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Like,
Apple's been there
it's
for a
just-
while, but
even the
Nvidia,
smallest
but
nations,
Nvidia is
like,
now
we just-
outstripping
yeah.
Apple and Google and all these other companies.
It is.
Nuts. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it
nuts.
is. So,
I think the last value was like it's like 5 trillion or something.
Yeah.
Does make
Where
me
are they
regret
based?
selling my.
US. It's what's the guy? Larry. What's his name? I can't remember his name. It's Larry something.
So all these American companies they're more powerful than nations, and there's no guardrails.
Yeah.
You know, so and it's only. I mean, you know, AI is they're going to start allowing it to train itself because it's never been allowed to train itself, and that's because there's like an arms race with AI. They're going to start allowing AI to train itself.
Is it
AI is the
Hungary
second
that
Cold War,
has an AI MP? I think it is Hungary, isn't it? One of the countries in Europe has members of parliament that are AI.
Yeah.
And that's
Is it
not-
actually Hungary?
Not a joke.
It wouldn't surprise me if it was Hungary because obviously they've been at the forefront of like many things throughout the history.
I'm pretty
of,
sure it's
like,
Hungary. I'm
Europe.
pretty sure it is
They're
Hungary.
pretty out there.
But that's where we're at. Turkey's thinking about doing it. I was reading an article about it the other day, and there's
Wow.
MPs
Yeah.
that are AI now, and they're like making
So in answer to your
decisions.
question,
Yeah.
is there another Utopia? There probably will be, but
Yeah.
we'll have to destroy
A lot.
what's going on now
Okay.
wholeheartedly,
Bodes well for all of our children.
mate.
Don't have
What-
kids, guys.
what, children?
Yeah.
Anyway,
On that bombshell,
Question.
you can edit all that out if you want. It's a bit dark.
That's the shit that I'm here for.
yeah,
mate.
that's people are going to suddenly snap out of the last 20 minutes of just like real focus, of listening to that and being like, holy shit, the existential. You can cease your existential crisis, listeners.
No,
Let's do some,
reality.
let's do some
Good
questions.
Yeah.
There was one particular question that we read earlier on from one of the Telegram lot that I thought was fantastic, and I would like to ask that one first.
Go on then.
It's a med school related question.
Yep.
Oh,
And it was the one where it was. Are there any artists that if you were relaunching med school for the same reasons that you launched it the first time round in 2025, which first couple of artists do you reckon you'd be sort of hitting?
Should I read the actual question out?
Go on, yeah, go on.
So
Read their
you
question.
basically had it. Yeah, it's if med school reopened tomorrow, what kind of artists or sounds would you want it to champion in 2025? Any artist you could see that would fit?
The honest answer is I don't know. I really don't know because I don't have the influx of demos
Yeah.
Fair.
that I used to have. You know, it was a big job of mine was going through all the demos, and I could hear in granular form all the new stuff that was exciting me.
Yeah.
You know? I'm not accepting demos because I'm never going to release someone else's music on Fast Soul Music.
Yeah.
Because I've done that.
I was going to say you've kind of done
paid
that.
my dues in that respect.
Yeah,
you know?
so, yeah.
You don't
So
want the
I
headache anymore.
honestly don't know. And also, you know, with my promo inbox, it's very, very difficult to listen to.
It's unmanageable.
It is.
To even listen to 1% of it
We talk about this regularly.
because
How much music there is in the world.
there is
right
so much slop
now. Yeah.
that gets
slop, yeah.
that gets sent to us.
Yeah.
You know? And there are tunes made on Suno that get sent in as promos, commercial promos.
Yeah.
You know.
Really?
Yeah, mate. Suno's getting close to the point where things will start sounding good.
And if they're not, they fucking sound like they are being made by AI.
Yeah.
Some of it is this shit, bruv. Honestly.
Yeah.
Some of it is so terrible.
I mean, the first Locus, there was an artist who shall remain
Oh, yeah, no.
nameless.
I forgot about that.
His whole set was produced on Suno,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was Suno like 2 years ago as well, so it was bad.
and it
Yeah.
sounded like it.
It was bad.
So what? His whole set was made by AI?
We'll tell you
Yeah.
afterwards.
I
We'll tell
know
you
who. I
afterwards.
know. who
That
we're
is-
talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah,
I know
yeah.
exactly
I'll tell you
who we're
afterwards.
talking about.
And
How can you know
it
who
was
they're talking about?
How can you not?
it was jaw-droppingly terrible.
Yeah, I wasn't that. That was the one in Mexico, wasn't it? Yeah.
Was that like
Yeah.
was that like a selling point? Were they like, wait, look at what I've
Oh
done?
no, it was the first one in Bali, wasn't it? Yeah,
First
'cause
Bali one.
I was playing on the set at the same time in the pool.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't hear it. Yeah.
They were in Mexico, though, weren't they?
Yeah. Anyway, shy mother. All right.
Fucking
Another
hell.
Patreon question from the same guy, Jay. I think you know the answer. I think I know what you're going to say to this one already. But he said, if Logistics or Newtone sent you a track, could you tell which brother made it without seeing the file name? I think.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely.
So actually,
Sick
interestingly,
question, though.
one of the questions was
You
actually
probably have even guessed which year they wrote that track as well that they're sending.
yeah.
Probably.
They're like, hang on a second.
Yeah.
It sounds like you wrote this in 2016.
Yeah.
The third question we had from our Patreon, but I think you've kind of already answered it in a lot of the things you said, was from Aaron, who said, what was it about running the golden hamster wheel, he calls it, that made you need to stop? And how is it any different to making music solely for yourself and your own new label? I think we've
covered that.
that. But good question, though. Very good question.
Yeah.
Very well preempted.
Yeah.
Instagram questions. Anil, first submission, wasn't a question. He just said, not a question. Just want to say how much of an incredible human being Tony is.
Oh.
Big you up, mate.
Checks in the post, Matt.
There you go.
Good luck.
Jay asks, would we ever get a Pull the Plug vinyl with the original versions of the tracks on it?
I doubt it. That's highly unlikely. I mean, my back catalogue is still with Hospital.
Yeah.
Hospital is celebrating 30 years next year.
It's just crazy.
Which is, respect for that.
Yeah.
They are going to repress Syncopated City.
Nice.
The 4-piece.
Nice.
Hey,
Not,
there we go.
Not 2 of them.
Yeah.
Yes, Jack. Yeah. So that is coming, which is exciting. But I don't think Pull the Plug. Basically, the way when you're repressing stuff on vinyl, you look at Discogs.
Yeah.
And if it's going for about £100,
That's the one you do.
Repress.
Yeah.
we can probably make our money back if we repress it. If it's going for $9.99, then maybe not.
Yeah. Fair. Jay also asked, how did the track Rewind come about? Probably my favourite Liquid track of all time.
Oh, great. I mean, that was... Okay, so how that came about, our deal in Japan was with Sony. In very early Hospital days, Sony Japan were like all over drum and bass, and they signed everything we were doing. And they literally said, we want a radio hit. And so Rewind started off as an instrumental tune that was called Ultrasound and was on the first compilation on Hospital. And I just took that and wrote a song over it. And the song was about being addicted to being on the internet, because I just had my first dial-up connection and I was totally addicted to web surfing, which was a thing.
That's so... But you know what?
Do you remember web surfing?
Yeah,
It was incredible because no one tried to sell you anything on the internet.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah.
It was like you could literally search stuff and you get some strange person in Alabama who'd posted something on their little website and it would be top of the search engine. No one's trying to monetize it.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. So that song was all about losing your soul. I mean, it's prescient, really.
I was going to say, it's
losing your
yeah.
soul by spending all your time on the internet.
What's funny about that is we're all addicted to the internet now, but no one calls it an addiction.
Yeah, because we're actually all addicted to being sold stuff.
Yeah.
How sad is that?
It's odd, yeah.
You don't think people think
Consumer
that's
will.
an addiction?
Well, no, because think about everything you do involves...
Average person,
everything
man,
you
just
do
doesn't give a shit.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
happy to come home. You're happy to come home and instead of sit in front of the television like people used to do 20, 30 years ago and same thing.
I mean, it's
but
kind of the same thing.
they will just sit in front of this and just stare at it just so they can be sold shit.
Well, no, but every interaction you have now is involves
slop-
an internet connection.
Imagine being
the slop you see on social media now is just horrendous.
Imagine
and
being
lazy.
addicted to being a customer.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because I'm old. But
No, it is weird. It's weird. As
I mean, and I do catch myself. Shit, I've spent 20 minutes looking at nothing.
Yeah. Doom
I'm never going to get that 20 minutes back. I better stop.
I think whoever coined the term doom scrolling was
Yeah.
bang on the money.
Yeah.
But it's not always doom scrolling.
Yeah.
It's just slop scrolling. a lot of
Sometimes I
times.
call it market research.
Because I'm so shit at social.
I've got a release next week to promote, man. Like, I've got to do some market
fair.
Well,
research.
that's
man.
different, you see. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe
But
it's
no,
not.
that's also just an excuse.
It's the other side of the capitalist coin, isn't it? Yeah.
So,
But I do find myself, because I'm not particularly great at socials now. I've kind of got into a routine. Like if I'm there and I'm scrolling, I'm like no, and then I'm like, right, what can I do that is
Yes.
the other side?
Yes.
What can I create? What can I dig out?
Yeah.
And then what can I schedule so that actually I can put this down, because really that's what I should be doing.
If you're going to spend half an hour on Instagram,
100%.
do 30 minutes of productivity.
Yeah.
Because we've got a reason to. The average person doesn't.
I've noticed a huge difference when I've been on it since I've been on tour. Like, huge difference. And it's like, I hate it, I dislike it, but actually it's better to do that than just to be, like you said, losing 20 minutes of your life and being like, oh shit, what happened there?
What did I achieve? I saw a load of adverts.
Yeah. I shared some memes with my missus.
Yeah, that's good use though. For me, that's a good use of time.
Yeah,
that can be a good use.
I mean,
if the memes are quality enough.
It depends how good your track record is. Because if you've got a really shit track record, they just will never watch them. So you're just wasting your own time sharing them.
Yeah.
You know what? Someone actually asked, "What's your favourite meme?"
They did.
What is your favourite current meme?
Are you known for your memes or
my phone?
Right, well, actually look at that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can do two things at once, but I'll ask another question. Gary J, I actually really like this question. I think we should probably ask everyone this question. Do you have an overall guiding philosophy across everything that you do?
Should we take it while?
I've found my favourite. No,
cool.
Do I have a guiding philosophy
across
everything you do?
Yeah, I mean, I am particularly, since I've extricated myself from hospital records, I've become a lot more spiritual, if you like, a lot more connected, able to live in the moment, so yeah, I truly believe that the future and the past don't actually exist. They're not a thing, because I've never met anyone who can travel to either.
Yeah,
you know, so they are constructs. So that's about all I can say on that, really, I think.
Okay.
Don't know if that's philosophy. It's not.
No, it is. Definitely.
That's great.
You know what? It's fine. I wouldn't consider myself super spiritual, but one thing we were talking about, like, just writing music when you're in that purple patch, and when you're not in that purple patch, not forcing it. So someone famous said it about the fact that, when you create music, we're not actually creating, we're simply the
channeling.
Exactly. I really do believe that, because I believe when you hit that creative flow, that's because you're just being used to do that process.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely true.
Yeah,
because when you're in the creative flow, I mean,
you're almost not thinking.
You're not doing anything.
Yeah.
You're not doing what's happening.
Yeah.
It's happening through you.
Yeah.
So when that happens, I mean, it doesn't happen very often. No. The older I get, the less often it happens. But occasionally it still can. Most of the time it's just me squeezing one out. But that has its place too.
I was going to say, both your takes came with a lot more depth.
Yeah,
let's say that one.
There you go.
Squeezing one out at the end.
Come on, we've all made tunes like that.
Kyle asked favourite memory from Hospital Records. I think the question I asked was better, to be honest. Favourite projects, we've done that one.
Yeah.
I guess, to be fair, we didn't really touch on hospitality as its own thing as well. If we talk about the event side, what for you was the kind of best event moment? I know what mine was, for sure. What was yours?
Hospitality wise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, the first one at Heaven was incredible. Some of the Brixton Academy ones.
I fell asleep in the green room at one of those events.
Yeah.
Till the event stopped and the security woke me up.
Yeah, I've fallen asleep in the green room too there.
No one else woke you up?
No.
Mad.
We did a kind of 360 boxing match.
Yeah, I was there, yeah.
In Brixton Academy.
Yeah.
All back-to-backs and stuff, wasn't it?
All back-to-backs, and we all had gowns made, boxing gown made, and and it was before 360 was
really
a thing.
Yeah.
That was must have been 2015. 2016.
Was that a play on? Do you remember they used? What was the event that used to do that with MCs? There was an event that used to do that with MCs. Did they jack you, or was it just?
Don't remember.
Nah, I think maybe I remember. I think Warning. I remember seeing a Warning. I think they did something like that and got a boxing ring.
They probably did it first.
Yeah,
did it.
Yeah.
We probably probably ripped them off. Nick the idea.
No, it wasn't what I was getting at. It was maybe like, just two different like examples of that happening, like the sort of gladiatorial kind of element, which honestly I used to fucking love, especially as an MC perspective, seeing them like go back to back and like it would be like obviously all friendly and stuff, but also like war at the same time.
Yeah, it was a wicked one.
Did you do the sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say when I launched, did my album launch for Yikes at Brixton Academy, and that was a moment because you can get away with this now, but so I was in my pajamas. Elsa Esmeralda, who sang Just 1 Second, she wheeled me on in a wheelchair to an upright piano. And,
I remember all of this. This is so...
and we opened with Electricity Will Keep Me Warm, which is just like a think break on a little tape player I had next to the piano.
Yeah.
It was mic'd up, and the piano and her singing. And there was a Zimmer frame by the piano, and I graduated from the wheelchair to the Zimmer frame. And then we went into Just 1 Second, and on the drop, I lifted up the Zimmer frame like this in my pajamas, and it was like a proper weird fucking rock and roll moment. You know? And then I did the whole set in my pajamas, but the thing is, like for some reason, I decided not to wear any underwear. And the pajamas kept slipping down because I hadn't tied the cord up properly, or they were too big or something. And throughout my set, I was doing that thing where you're kind of wiggling, trying to stop the pajamas from falling down while you're DJing. That's a favourite moment.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's on brand, that one.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, to be fair, one thing I will say, so I've never seen have someone more, maybe you and Marky, the
I
two
was going
people.
to say, this is a
have more
back-to-back that
fun.
needs to happen.
More fun when you're DJing. I think you and Marky are the two that I think about the
Have you
most.
and Marky ever played a set together?
No.
Really?
No.
See, no, that needs to happen.
That would be mad, to be
That
fair.
actually needs to happen. I actually feel like not only would it just be a wonder to watch you two in the booth together, musically, that would just go on.
Pretty sure someone suggested it recently, and he just flatly kiboshed the idea.
Oh, I'm having words.
Does he go back to back with many
To be
people?
fair, I don't think actually,
No, he doesn't.
He has.
Nah,
He
I
did,
don't-
was it Die at Sun and Bass?
Yeah,
You're thinking?
so-
Yeah, but that's
yeah.
like a special.
It's
like,
rare.
It's a disco set.
It's
Yeah,
rare,
like-
but he does. It's
He's-
rare, but
He's
he
very,
does.
very
Yeah.
reluctant to do it, I think. And
fair.
I don't really blame him because
I'm having words. I'm having words. There's
it's a bit-
other people that people have suggested it to in front of him, yeah, and he said no, and then when he's given the reason, I'm like, yeah, fair, fair.
It's a bugbear though for me, back to backs, because I think very occasionally they're good, or spontaneously.
Yeah.
If another DJ doesn't show up, so you go back to back. That's kind of, I like that. But when promoters like when they
Force it.
stack their lineup full of back to backs,
Yeah.
they're so fucking desperate to get enough names to sell tickets on the poster or the flyer, and it's just like some of these people. You just look. I don't want to see. I don't even want to see them, but then I definitely don't want to see them back to back.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
I think back-to-backs that are random, that just don't make any sense there. Because there's not actually adding anything to the set at that point. It's just going to be that DJ playing their tunes
Yeah.
and the other DJ playing their tunes, regardless of what the other person's played. So, yeah.
This is really inspiring chat for my
But your
upcoming night in
back-to-backs are-
February.
I would say yours are like considered though.
Might have definitely
But that's it.
considered.
just make it brilliant.
I've
That's
got
all.
LSB and Nile
back
back
to
to back.
Yeah,
I'm
that
basically
makes sense.
I'm
Yeah, that's a
basically
good
trying
one.
to do
That's-
like a Marcus
that's the hot take
Intellect
here, right?
like tribute set, the
Back
best
to
that I
backs are
can.
supposed
with
You see,
the-
I'd want to see, and I do
Well thought
want
out.
to see both those guys anyway.
Yeah.
So that's
Now,
really going to work.
The reason that I'm doing it is, like I said before we sort of started recording, is because I don't want to be booking these bigger artists like we were saying, the ones that are like the fees that are unreachable,
Yeah.
unmaintainable. I want to have like a line that's two people that equals the same as that, but actually is something that I'm into and represents it. But obviously, like you said, it is, you've got to sell tickets, otherwise what am I going to do? If I had 5 people on a lineup, is that going to do it? This way I've got like 10, and hopefully because they're all like underground artists, it kind of ramps it up enough that people are like, oh fuck, I really want to
That's
go
it.
to
All
that.
you're doing there as well
Yeah.
is just getting more people, and you build and supporting more people as well. If it is a
I mean,
success,
the key-
which it
the
will
night,
be,
the
which it
night
will
is
be.
called Colony, and it's about community and culture. Like my whole ethos, I've got some crazy ideas for the night. It's like culture, community, colony. That's my ethos. B&B.
That's your social media clip right there. bro.
There you go.
it is.
Promo done.
Yeah. If we manage to get this one out before the 13th of
So the
February.
night's called Colony.
colony. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Like colon.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Well, I was thinking you could have
Thanks, mate.
you could have a special cocktail, call it colonic irrigation.
You're always there with the puns ready to go, aren't you? Like,
The logo's like a bee, so it's like my slogan's like be a bee, culture, community, colony.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a bunch of ideas that are kind of mad, but I'm hoping to make it as much of an experience as possible, like something that's
the wildest club night ever.
like separates it from what's going on right now, because it's going to be an underground drum and bass night, which is obviously very, very difficult to run at the moment. So I kind of want it to be like people are feeling invested in it. There's going to be like if you come to the first one, you're going to get like first refusal on second tickets. There's going to be like loads of stuff that's like basically like rewarding the colony for helping the colony to survive and thrive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Helping the hive.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Fingers crossed.
Nice.
It's nerve-wracking times.
Nice. Do it, man. I like it. It's got an angle.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was all of the. And I know. Sorry, there was one more question. Sam Hayes, what's your dream sandwich?
That was the one I said was like the Slater question.
Yeah,
It's like
fair.
usually the Slater question.
So fair.
Well done.
So, now, I do really, and this is a bit of a weird one. I do like a very, very mature cheddar cheese with a very strong marmalade.
Interesting.
What kind
So
of
it's
bread?
like almost like cheese and biscuit sandwich sort of vibe.
I think the bread choice is like essential here, though.
No,
bread-
and it could be on a good sourdough, lightly toasted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Marmalade.
definitely work. Cheese and marmalade is banging.
Yeah. So it's basically like you're using the marmalade as like a chutney,
Like a pickle.
effectively.
Yeah,
Chop-
that's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. So
Nice.
I'll go with that today.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's pretty unique.
That's
Just
very unique.
Yeah.
that is actually the most. Yeah, I actually thought I misheard. I thought you said cheese and Marmite.
I mean, that's actually not a out there. That's a combination.
No, that's
of
what I
business.
meant.
and Marmite.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, that's a not. Yeah.
Marmalade is only when you repeated it back. I was
Yeah.
like, wait, marmalade.
That's a very London Electricity answer.
Yeah,
I like it. No one else is eating that sandwich in the world until they heard about it now. You're going to go away. You're like,
Yeah,
"Fucking
everyone's going to want one.
hell, might be a flex."
Yeah.
You have to get the Fox and Firkin to start serving them.
The 12-hour event. Get that on the venue. Yeah, there you go.
Deep fried.
Fuck our in-house cocktail, mate. We've got cheese and marmalade sandwiches.
Cheese and marmalade sourdough toasties. Cool.
Amazing.
That's the last question.
Okay.
Well, yeah, before we close out, I just want to say, Tony, thank you for coming on, because there's also so much we didn't talk about.
Yeah.
So much we didn't talk about.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be a 7-hour podcast if we try to talk about it all. But we can do another one. We can do another one.
Yeah.
We're doing an all-night podcast.
Yeah, we can do it all. Yeah, 12-hour podcast.
Yeah.
We always give our guests opportunities just to plug or promote anything they need to plug or promote as well. Obviously, you said the next night at Fox and Fergus is going to be the 2nd of May, which is obviously a little ways away. Any new music? Obviously, the album's out now. Check that out.
No, just no. I mean, the album's fresh still.
Yeah, go
you know.
listen to it, basically.
Yeah, please listen to it. There's no. I haven't actually gone back in the studio
That's nice, though.
to write new music,
Yeah.
and I'm just allowing that to be.
Yeah.
You know, because I will,
Yeah.
and I'll get all obsessive again, and it will start again.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens. So I'm kind of enjoying not. And I'm really looking forward to over Christmas because I'm playing in Seoul, Shenzhen, and Osaka and Tokyo.
Far East tour.
So nice little tourette.
Yeah.
You know? And my family are joining me in Japan.
Amazing.
So that'll be cool. And in January I'm taking a 10-week course as an introduction to learning how to be a psychodynamic counsellor.
Wow.
Oh, so there you go.
Just side quest now, basically.
Just little,
Yeah.
What I want to learn something new,
Yeah.
new skills.
What does that entail? Can you because my missus is a psychotherapist. So what's a psycho?
There is no technical difference between psychotherapy
Right.
and counsellor.
Yeah.
So psychodynamic therapy and counselling is the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's all based on like Jung and Freud and you know.
Freud has some ideas, man. I've very
I'm more of a young man myself.
Yeah, 'cause the thing is,
He's more spiritual.
Yeah. Freud, not all of the stuff I can get on board with, but I understand where it's
Freud was all about having sex with your mother.
Yeah.
He was also a cocaine addict.
He loved opioids, yeah, exactly.
Do you listen to this Jungian Life podcast?
No.
You should check. You should check that out.
Oh, I will.
Yeah, really
Nice.
really good podcast.
I will.
Yeah, I listened to it for quite a while. I was like rinsing it. It's like three like Jungian like basically therapists,
Practitioners, yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember. Literally,
How's the banter?
the banter's.
Come on, be honest.
It's not like great, but
Is it like the rest is football?
oh no.
The rest is psychotherapy. You missed the trick, guys. Come on. You can take the piss out of all your patients.
It is really, really interesting though, and they do have some like really awesome takes. They do like dream analysis as well. So
wicked.
They basically pick like the weird. Some people
dream of the week?
People said
I love
dream,
that.
mate,
That's good.
It is so jokes. Like some of them are crazy. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah. I'm going to check that out.
Yeah, definitely.
Let me write that. What's it called again?
This Jungian Life.
Yeah.
It's got like a green little logo on it. Yeah, you'll rate it. Trust me. I don't know why I started listening to it, but I did, and it was really, really cool.
Nice.
I need to go back to it. Actually,
You know, ironically, I didn't actually even have a podcast like breakdown on my Spotify app just because I didn't listen to any.
really?
Yeah, I know. I need to get back into podcasts.
I've actually stopped as well. Maybe it's because this one's like a bit of a drain on us all.
Are there podcasts on Cubo's?
now?
Oh yeah, that's a good question actually.
What was that?
On this
Cubo's got podcasts on it.
Has
your French streaming platform?
interesting? No, haven't checked it out. I'm sure it has.
I'm gonna research this because I do listen to a lot of podcasts.
Yeah,
and I'm still on Spotify, and I want to move my whole family over to Apple.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it.
Well, they've made the playlist transfer thing now, haven't they? So
Yeah, I just got an app and it remade
Apple
every
have that feature
playlist.
built in now,
really?
that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
yeah, Apple actually have that feature built in now.
Snap.
Yeah.
Smart. But yeah, it just rebuilt everything for me.
Well, there you go. Death to our overlords.
Well,
Eh?
look, guys, thank you for having me.
No, thank you so
It's
much,
been
Tony, for
very
coming.
thanks for
entertaining.
coming on.
No, honestly, it's
Some
been a
great
pleasure,
questions. Thank you.
All good, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That was wicked.
mate. Until next time.
Until next time.
absolutely.
Big love.
Peace.